Back-to-back state championships, a feat never before attained at Highland Park. But the Scots did it in 2017. Now they must turn the page as a new generation of Scots look to make their mark and write their own chapter in the annals of the most storied program in Texas high school football history. The show goes on. Welcome to another season of Highland Park football presented by Game On Sports.
I'm a link in the chain. I am a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
I'm 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 a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
I'm a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain. I'm a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain. When you play one of us, you play all of us.
It's coming home.
It never left, and it's staying right where it belongs.
Go! Core went to the end zone. Touchdown, Scots! He's got a receiver. It's caught by Finn. Hello, everyone. I am Miles Dunklin alongside the coach, Eric Cunningham. We're here at Highlander Stadium, a place the Scots have won 99 of their previous 100 home games, and a place where Randy Allen has never been defeated by a Texas team in his 20 years. But, Coach, the Rockwall Yellow Jackets, the only team to defeat Highland Park last year, have plans on spoiling the Scots season opener.
Miles Duncan, I tell you what, first of all, it is good to be back in this place after an unbelievable finish to last season. You're exactly right. This is a Rockwall Yellow Jacket team that is extremely talented, led by Jacob Clark and company. What a game this was last year, and I know that that game has been on the minds of these Highland Park Scots for the last year. While they did win the state championship, certainly losing is not something that happens all that often around here. So that's something they've thought a lot about, and they welcome this Jacket team to come in here and really, they expect a great football game here tonight.
Gone are the likes of Cade Sawstad, Paxton Alexander, John Stephen Jones, Thomas Schellmeyer. But, Coach, the old saying at Highland Park is tradition never graduates. That holds true. The Scots don't rebuild, they reload.
Yeah, that motto could not fit a program any better than it does Highland Park High School. And, Miles, I'll tell you right now, there were a lot of people in the state of Texas that thought there was no way that Highland Park was going to be able to repeat with the likes of Denton Ryan and Manville in the 5A classification. But, again, the Scots find a way. What an unbelievable game that was in that state championship game. What an unbelievable run it was through the playoffs. Frankly, a run in a game that I will never forget, and I was so thankful to be a part of. This program never ceases to amaze me. These kids never cease to amaze me. And Randy Allen, I'm so glad he's back on the sideline of the Highland Park Scots.
Well, Coach, that's another storyline here in 2018 is the legendary Randy Allen is back on the Scots sideline. But for the first time in 20 years, that was in doubt this offseason.
Coach Allen decided that he thought he wanted to retire. And he did retire. And it kind of took everybody by surprise. And he stayed retired for roughly 10 to 12 days. And frankly, Miles, it did not surprise me one bit to see him come back. And why? Because he is a football coach. He loves this program. He loves these young men. He loves this coaching staff. And he knows he still has a ton to offer. And, Coach Allen is a football coach, period. That's all he's ever been. That's what he's outstanding at. There's a reason why he's a legend in the state of Texas. And like I said earlier, Miles, I'm glad to see the fedora back down on the sideline.
Absolutely. As we're going to head down to our sideline and the third member of our team in Paige Schnorbach for the first time here in 2018. What's going on, Paige?
On this field, the return of Randy Allen for year 20 brings one word to mind for me, which is consistency. And the Highland Park Scots will be looking for consistency again as they go for a three-peat this year. But you know what else is consistent? Texas heat. We can always count on the beginning of the season to be hot, and today is no different with a warm 94-degree starting time right now. And we will just watch these boys try to fight through possible cramps. I hope they stay hydrated, and this will just be a kickoff to another great Highland Park season.
Thank you, Paige, as the Scots are getting ready to take the field as they roll the link in the chain video here at Highland Park High School. And Coach, it is definitely hot, but this is a really good football team on the other side of the field from Highland Park, a team that beat the Scots last year. They return their top receiver, their quarterback, who, by the way, is committed to the University of Minnesota, and he threw for 5 touchdowns and almost 400 yards against the Scots last year. This is going to be quite a test, as a lot of people actually are picking Rockwall to upset the Scots here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach Allen has never shied away from playing an outstanding non-district schedule, which I love because that does prepare these young men for the district race. Rockwall is an outstanding team. Coach Webb does an outstanding job with this program. They have continually got better and better and better with Coach Webb at the helm. And again, very talented. Jacob Clark is an outstanding quarterback. I will say that he torched the Scots last year. They can score points quickly. They can score a lot of points. And this is going to be an outstanding game. The Scots are tough to beat here, but this is a really, really tough program in Rockwall.
And here come the Scots for the first time in 2018, led by another outstanding senior class, a senior class that seen their last 2 senior classes go out on top with a state championship victory. And Coach, there's always been a high standard of excellence here at Highland Park. That of 2016 and 2017, they've raised the bar even higher. The expectation is a state championship.
Well, back-to-back. First time ever, Miles, and you're exactly right that the expectation has been set. But here's the deal, Miles. These young men know that. They live with that every day of their life. They expect to win from the time they walk into junior high here into Highland Park Middle School. That's what their expectation is. So I know that it is a lot to load for these young men, but they welcome that. They expect to win, and they want to be playing in December as everyone else, but they not only want to, Miles, they expect to be playing in December.
And I think that's what's different here than a lot of other places, is sometimes it's like, well, okay, we have a good team, and maybe this year is our year. Maybe it's every year an expectation for these Scots that they are going to be great. Let's talk about some of the guys the Scots have coming back. Let's start with the offense, especially Reagan Riddle. Tackle to left tackle, picked up a bunch of Division I offers during the offseason, and Reagan looks like he's the next in a long line of great offensive linemen at Highland Park.
Yeah, you always look at and typically you're going to look on the left side, and that left tackle is always an outstanding football player. Riddle fits that mold. Obviously, huge with but is out of that offensive line, and I'm telling you, an offensive line, Miles, that I personally is going to surprise some. A really good offensive line.
And Ryan Butts coming back on the offensive line as well. He's another captain for the Scots. You look at the skill position players in terms of returners. Finn Corwin had a big year last year for Highland Park, had 11 touchdowns, averaged almost 22 yards a catch out of the slot last year for the Scots. He's a captain as well. You also look at players like Benner Page coming back for Highland Park, and then some of the new faces, Chandler Morris in there at quarterback, as the Scots, we talked about the lineage of offensive linemen, but certainly they produced a good quarterback or two as well, and Chandler looks like he is poised to step in and be the man.
Yeah, and I want to get to Chandler in just a second because there's a lot to talk about. But I'm going to tell you what, Miles, one of the, I guess, most exciting positions on the field for the Scots coming into the year is the receiver position.
Absolutely.
They are loaded at receiver, led by Finn Corwin. But, you know, you think about what a loss it is to lose a guy on the edge like Cade Sawstead. What a year he had. But as all the coaches that I have talked to for Highland Park have said, we love this. They're deep. They catch the ball. Finn Corwin had an outstanding year last year, but I would look for some other young men to step in next to Finn and really produce some big numbers this year. And I will, yes, as soon as we get through the anthem, I do want to touch on Chandler Morris.
And we will pause for the national anthem here at Highlander Stadium. For some football here at Highlander Stadium in 2018. With you here for another season of Scott football. Coach, we were just talking about some of the skill position players the Scots are going to feature this season. They also return guys like Drew Dodge, Bennett Brown. We're going to see guys like Drew Scott, Grant McVay, Ben Smith, Paxton Anderson, and Drew Stanzel. But talk about the man who's going to get the keys to the car. It's Chandler Morris under center this year for the Scots.
You know, we talk about the offensive line and how each year they reload. Obviously, receiver in Highland Park is one of those positions that is just such a special position to hold, and Chandler Morris is ready for that. He's prepared for that. We saw signs of it last year. A very, very talented young man who can really spin the football. But I'm going to tell you right now, the area that I think is going to really surprise some people is Chandler Morris can flat run, Miles Dunklin. He can run. And now the key is going to be to keep him healthy, you know, because his instinct is going to want to be to take off when but I'm going to tell you what, Chandler Morris is a very, very talented guy. He's already got multiple Division I offers. I know the coaching staff was excited about him sticking around here and being a part of this program for the next 2 years.
The Scots are going to return the opening kick.
Yeah,
2 men back to receive. It's number 88.
And if you remember, Miles,
Case Savage and number 26, Ben Smith, two juniors.
Kind of an odd formation here. Rockwall likes to line up 2 kickers. You don't necessarily know which way they're going to go, and they like to show that they're going to onside kick each time, so you must be prepared for this.
And the Scots are prepared with their hands team. We'll get back to that onside kick storyline here in just a moment, as this opening kick will be by Case Savage in the 2018 season is underway. Now, of course, Rockwall needed an onside kick to beat the Scots last year. 53-49 was the final score. But, Coach, that maybe ended up helping out the Scots in the long run as they were prepared with that onside kick team. And they used that very same play to beat Manville in the state championship.
They sure did. They lined up 2 kickers, didn't know which way they were going to go until the coaches made the call after everybody was lined up and on the field. And certainly Mateo Cordray with a perfect onside kick to big Cade Sawstead, and then the rest is history. They go down and win the state championship.
But like we said, we're turning the page. It's a new group of Scots, and it's Chandler Morris with his first snap as the varsity starting quarterback, and that looks like it's going to be pass interference on the defense as the intended target there was number 5, Drew Dodge, a good-looking big body on the outside, 6'3", 180. Let's go ahead and set that Scott offensive starters, starting with Reagan Riddle at left tackle. Ryan Butts is the left guard. Tyler Kilgus steps in to play center. Jack Rourke is the starting right guard. And it will be Harrison Hall splitting time with Henry Hagenbach at right tackle. The receiver position, look for Finn Corwin, Bennett Brown, Paxton Anderson, as well as Drew Dodge. The running back will be Benner Page, and the quarterback is Chandler Morris.
Who, by the way, my goodness, Benner looks great, doesn't he? Got some
Added a
size.
lot of weight as they flip it to Ben Smith, trying the right side, tackled by the horse collar. Consecutive penalties against Rockwall here to start the game, and doesn't look like they like that call, but that was a pretty definitive horse collar there against Rockwall.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was the proper call. Both calls, in my opinion, to start the game have been proper. I mean, it's not abnormal to see a lot of flags on the field early in the season, but the first play was a definitive pass interference. And it looks like that one may go against the Scots, and I did not see what the call was, Miles.
I think they said offsetting penalties. Now they're going to march it back against Highland Park. Let's go ahead and set that Rockwall starting defense. They have changed their scheme. They'll be running a 3-3-5 stack on the defensive line. It's Rocky Hill, Derek Harris, and Gabe Howard. The linebackers are Garrett Lewis, Joseph Schaefer, and Riley Pevlar. As the Scots want to snap it here on 1st down and 15 to go, right side. Looking for Bennett Brown, and he has his first catch of 2018. Bennett made 12 catches last year as a junior. In the secondary for Rockwall, it's Elijah Coleman, Logan Carlin, Jerry Callio, Tyler Ashworth, and Anthony Orgy, who is the second middle brother of these Orgy brothers. Older brother Ashton now at Vanderbilt, and Anthony is committed to Vanderbilt. See the younger brother play tonight as well. He's a freshman. 2nd down and 9 here for Morris, facing a blitz, throwing deep, and it's going to be incomplete.
Well, Miles, we're going to see a lot of cover 3 out of Rockwall tonight. Like you said, they run that 3-3 stack. It's a little bit of a quirky 3-3 stack, but what those corners are going to want to do is they'll press you and then they bail. So I think you'll see a lot of those 5 to 7 yard out routes like we saw 2 plays ago, which, by the way, if you were curious about Chandler Morris's arm strength, these first few throws have been absolute bullets. You know, when he throws the ball from one hash to the far side on the out route, that ball's got to be thrown with a lot of velocity, and he has that in his arsenal.
Chandler's had a big offseason, picked up multiple Division I offers as they run the option here. Chandler's going to keep it himself. Look at him go in the open field. Morris down the sideline. There he goes, Chandler Morris showing off this touchdown.
Miles,
how about those wheels?
Like I mentioned, brother, the boy can run, and he flat out outran a very athletic Rockwall secondary right there. They weren't catching him. Not only did he outrun them, he pulled away from them. He showed the wheels right there. What a play call by Coach Allen. I love the misdirection, and then they go with the option look. And Miles, he didn't need that much of a hole, but he got it. He shot through it, and he was gone. What a start to the season for the Highland Park Scots and Chandler Morris.
What do you think about the play call there? 3rd down and kind of a long situation. Typically, you're not going to run the ball there, but they know that Chandler can get that in that kind of down and distance.
It shows a lot of confidence in Chandler. It also shows a lot of confidence in the offensive line, and they did an outstanding job.
As Wesley Winters, the new kicker for Highland Park, puts it through off the snap from Kip Miller, the hold from Ben Smith. And the Scots are out in front, 7-zip.
Gotta love it, Miles Dunklin. What a start to the year. Great job by the offensive line. And, you know, again, I talked to multiple coaches this week, and they all said, Eric, Chandler can fly. I'm telling you, he's 4'5", 4'6" speed. The guy can get out and go. And, you know, where John Stephen was more of kind of a, you know, he had a great arm. He was very knowledgeable in the offense. He had great escapability. But he wasn't necessarily going to run away from anyone. Chandler, on the other hand, will absolutely run away from you, and that's a weapon that I know Coach Allen loves to have in his back pocket this year.
The analogy that Tristan Weber gave me, he said, hey, John Stephen was built more like a Labrador. Chandler Morris is a greyhound, and you saw it right there when he got into the open field. That's some special talent on display, and that's why the likes of Clemson and Auburn have offered Chandler before he ever started a game as a junior.
Well, it was a great read because initially I thought he needed to pitch the football, but again, he didn't need that much of a gap, and when he got it, yeah, it just goes to show that young man is looking to attack. He's not looking to get rid of the ball. He's looking to attack.
He can hit home runs.
Absolutely.
As Winters approaches the ball with Hudson Clark, and it'll be Clark kicking it deep to the 25-yard line. Excellent coverage by the Scots. First tackle made on the year there by number 45, Christian Wright. And now we'll get to talk about this Scott defense led by a couple returning starters, including Jack Jurgovan, Prince Dorba, James Lightbourne, Colby Hopkins, Ryan Keaton, Hudson Clark. This should be a really good unit here for the new defensive coordinator, Cale Melton.
Yeah, Coach Melton's got a great defensive unit, and a lot of people said they felt like this could be, you know, the better side of the ball for the Scots this year. Again, return a lot of guys. I mean, that defensive line right now, Miles, they look massive. I mean, those three guys are huge.
And they've got a lot of depth at that position as they hand it off up the middle. That's the tailback, Zach Henry.
And I got news for you. We're going to be calling 47, Colby Hopkins' name a lot. That's a guy, Miles, that you've talked a lot about over the last few years. He is all over the football field.
Put on a lot of weight. He now weighs about 210 as they flip it left side complete. Rockwall wants to go really fast. We saw this in the freshman game last night. So, Coach, you're going to have to get your points in a hurry, as Rockwall wastes no time getting to the line. Go ahead and set this Scott defense
They snap
here.
the football in a hurry, don't they?
Prince Dorba, Jeremy Haynes, and Jack Jurgovan on the defensive line. Hopkins comes on the blitz up the middle. Hit initially made by Hopkins. And then it was Brock Bakich coming in from the secondary. Check that. Andrew Washburn, number 99. On the play. The linebackers are Christopher Reed, James Lightbourne, Colby Hopkins. They throw it left side, right side rather. Hit made over there by Chris Reed. You also see Andrew Bonnet starting at that nickel linebacker position. In the secondary, it's Hudson Clark, returning two-year starter, Ryan Keaton, Christopher Harrod, and Whit Winfield. As it's a 1st and 10 for Rockwall, now into Scott territory as they come on the blitz and they make the sack. It's Christopher Reed, converted safety, spun down to outside linebacker, perfectly timed blitz as he gets his first sack of his career.
Yeah, great athleticism as Christopher Reed possesses. Again, he is a converted safety down to the outside backer position. And in this defensive scheme by the Scots, they require these outside backers to really be athletic and do a lot of things. So it's Bonnet and Reed are going to be key contributors to this defense this year.
As Rockwall deploys their H-back, another handoff here to Zach Henry. Great job by the defensive line, Jeremy Haynes. Now, Coach, he's not a big nose guard, only 210 pounds, but he's a wrestler, and you'll see him use his body weight to his advantage in there. Nice play there by Haynes. As they get the loss, it's 3rd down and 14, a key play here for Rockwall. Dorba harassing Clark as he throws it right side complete. Now that's the outstanding wide receiver, Jackson Smith. Smith had 9 catches for 112 yards last year against the Scots as a sophomore. Put up over 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns last season, but it's shy of the marker. It'll be 4th down and 2. Big play here early in the ball game. Scots show pressure up the middle. They hand it to Zach Henry, and he will be shy of the line.
What a
that
start.
Was another play by Andrew Bonnet. Big series for the junior.
What a start by the Highland Park defense. Again, a ball that was questionable on that 3rd down play. Could have been called either way, but I'll tell you what, they step up and got a big stop there on 4th down to keep the momentum on the side. And Cale Melton, you are not going to – you'll always see enthusiasm out of that coach. I'm going to tell you right now, he gets after it on the sideline, and the defense kind of mimics his personality. He's fun to watch down there, and certainly we'll miss Coach Woods, but Cale Melton stepped in. I know he'll do a great job with this defensive crew.
As the Scots here with 9 minutes, 4 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter. already with a 7-point lead, and Benner Page gets his first carry of the year. Page hit hard for a loss over here on the near side. That was number 15 on the hit, Anthony Fernandez.
Well, Benner Page, he just looks more physical to me, Miles.
Definitely put on some weight in the offseason.
I talked to Coach Gibbs this morning, and he said, have you seen Benner? I said, no, I haven't. He said, brother, wait till you see him. He really looks good. He had, again, a key touchdown run in that state championship game last year, and he will be the bell cow of the Scott backfield this year.
Almost 200 yards rushing last year as the third back for the Scots. They put Ben Smith in motion. It's the option here for Morris. And Chandler will get to the 39-yard line. We'll set up a third down and about 5. We talked about the depth of this receiving core. Already seen a number of different guys as they put Drew Scott out wide to the right. Look for him to be an impact player as a junior here. Ben Smith and Corwin in the slot to the right. Drew Scott out there wide right. And Drew Dodge wide to the left. Third down and 5 for Chandler Morris. Play action. They pick up the blitz. And that throw is going to be out of the outstretched arms of Ben Smith. This will be a punting situation here for the Scots.
Yeah, there was some pressure right in the face right then of Chandler Morris. Kind of threw the timing off just a little bit. I'm going to tell you what, you're going to see Ben Smith all over the field here. They send him in motion. He's just so quick.
Let me tell you, I saw these guys play freshman and sophomore year, and Ben Smith and Chandler Morris have a really nice rapport with each other. As Andrew Stanzel comes in, it's an end-over-end kick, not very deep, and it takes a good Rockwall bounce, and the Yellow Jackets will take over with good field position at the 45-yard line.
He got rushed right there. There was some pressure right in his face. Just couldn't get off a very good punt.
Stanzel's a very multifaceted player. They might use him a little bit at H-back this year, tight end. They figured out last year he could punt.
He's huge.
Could do a bunch of different things. Threw him a couple balls last year as well. As we get our second look at this Scott defense. Key matchup here, number 11s on each other. That's Whit Winfield and Jackson Smith, near side of the screen. Jacob Clark committed to Minnesota. Stepping up. Clark has first down yardage and will jog out of bounds at the 40-yard line. 15-yard pickup there on first down.
Well, Clark wants to, excuse me, Miles. He wants to stand in the pocket and throw the football. He's not a runner. He will use the run if need be, just like he did to escape and pick up some yardage. But again, he wants to stand in the pocket. That's what he's good at, and that's certainly what's going to make him successful at the next level.
They hand it to Zach Henry again. It's been a very active evening so far for Andrew Bonnet as he makes another play. I credited Andrew Washburn earlier, but Bonnet makes, I think, his third tackle of the game so far. Talked about Clark last year, just shy of 3,000 yards passing, 63%, 29 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Transferred in from Kansas last year. They didn't quite know what they had in Jacob Clark when he arrived. And he is a Division I caliber quarterback, that's for sure, standing at 6'5", 215. Another first down here for Rockwall. Marching into Scott territory. 7-0 Scott lead as the Scots bring the house. They throw it left side. It's intercepted by Hudson Clark. What a play by the senior captain.
Unbelievable read right there by Hudson Clark. Speaking of the secondary, we haven't even made our way to praise these young men. I'm going to tell you right now, Hudson Clark has the potential to be a big-time Division I football player.
I completely agree with you, Coach Cunningham.
Absolutely.
There was a publication, Lone Star Prospects. I don't want to throw these guys under the bus, but they put out a list of the top 100 corners in the state. I was scanning down the list. Well, where's Hudson Clark? Where do they have him? He wasn't on the list. I had to quote the tweet and say, you got to be kidding me. Hudson Clark is easily one of the top 100 corners in the state of Texas.
There's no doubt about it. Outstanding athlete. Just got better and better and better. And you know that he took that game against Rockwall personal last year because he got torched with a couple long balls. But here's the thing, though. That was his first start as a varsity member. Again, throughout the season, he just got better and better and better, gained more and more confidence. And by the end of the year, Miles, frankly, he was a shutdown corner. Outstanding player. The Scots are expecting really big things out of 14 this year.
Last year, 2 interceptions, 12 passes defended, 2 fumble recoveries. a forced fumble, had 46 solo tackles as a junior. As Morris here on 1st and 15 after a false start, going to put it in the belly of Benner Page. Page surging toward the original line of scrimmage.
You know, we talked about Benner and how he had put on some muscle. The reason for that is when you do gain that weight as a running back, you're always falling forward. You noticed right there, he got hit, you know, at maybe 3 yards into the play. Then he actually picked up 5 yards, but that's exactly why you want that additional muscle mass.
Trips to the left here for Chandler Morris to go with the hard count. Morris looking to run here right up the middle, spinning toward a Scott first down. Interested to see how many design quarterback runs there are for Chandler Morris. Certainly he's going to have his runs just in the course of the game as he scrambles and whatnot, but a little bit curious to see how much they're going to dial up number 4 for a design QB run as they put Avery Lewis into the lineup, number 28 for the Scots. Use their rope and lasso package.
2 back.
Something they have rode to 2 consecutive state championships. We see Lewis for the first time. They go with the hard count. They hand it off to Benner Page. And it will be short. Page stuffed there at the 26-yard line, patiently trying that left side. Just couldn't find any room. And, Coach, it's important to note, Rockwall, not only are they a good program, led by Rodney Webb, who right now, by the way, is the president of the Texas High School Coaches Association and has deep ties with a lot of these Scott coaches. This is a 6A school that made the playoffs. They beat the Woodlands last year, and they have about 400 more kids enrollment than Highland Park does. So this is a really tough test. The number 9 ranked team in the Dallas area in 6A. That's an excellent kick by Andrew Stanzel. Will be fair caught by Jackson Smith. Hard line, and it'll be Rockwall ball right there. And let's head down to Paige Schnorbach on the sideline.
Guys, what we were most excited to see tonight was Chandler Morris come out for his first game as a starter, and he is already not disappointed. I know y'all can see him from where you are, but let me tell you, from this ground perspective, he has been amazing. His run down that field for the touchdown was fast. He was calm and collected when he came off. He just sat down, had a sip of water, and started strolling around. You can tell this kid knows what he's doing. Back up to y'all.
It's a great point. He's definitely got a very calm demeanor for a young man starting his first ever game as a junior. As they hand it to Zach Henry, stuffed there by James Lightbourne.
Boy, it's good to see 55 back out on the field. Obviously suffered a knee injury to finish the season last year, and he's only been really full strength, Miles, for about a week and a half. But he was anxious to get back out there, and I know the Scott defensive staff is excited to see Lightbourne back on the field.
Yeah, they voted it as a team captain. Production last year before he went down, 2 sacks, 59 total tackles.
Nice
and it's
job.
Lightbourne again,
well,
wrestling down Zach Henry.
Brought pressure. That's how you fight off a pretty good block by the offensive line, and then Lightbourne sheds the block and makes the play.
It'll be 3rd down and 3 to go for Rockwall as they waste no time. It's 1st down and more there for Zach Henry. Bouncing off a couple Scott tacklers as Ryan Keaton in there with the stop. And boy, did Ryan have a big impact on that 2017 season. 64 tackles, 3 INTs. He played a big role last year for the Scots as Henry takes it up the middle once again. But speak to Ryan Keaton's ability, Coach Cunningham.
Outstanding athlete. You know, he came in last year, not as a starter, but after some injuries took place early in the year, he got in there and made an immediate impact. He's a young man that's big. He's physical, again, very athletic. Look for him to certainly pick some footballs off this year. But the thing he will do, Miles Dunklin, is what he's doing right now, and that's come up and hit you. He is not afraid to get in the mix and come make a tackle and really lay a good lick on you.
Good ball skills. Actually led the team in interceptions last year as a junior. And they really, even when James Herring came back, they had Ryan on the field quite a bit throughout that playoff run.
Tough to keep him off the field, yeah. I mean, you know, you had Herring and Fultz out there, but Keaton it was tough to take him off the field. He just kept making plays.
3rd down and 5 here for Rockwall. They're going to hand it off once again, and it is stuffed. Great series that time for 55 in blue.
Well, they brought pressure, did the Scots. And, you know, again, Rockwall's content to just run the football right now. This is that no man's land where definitely don't think they're going to have the leg to kick the field goal. Definite 4-down territory. I'm curious to see if Coach Melton will bring pressure again.
Now, it's interesting to note, both offensive tackles for Rockwall are over 300 pounds. Both Keaton Lube and Matt Joyce, over 6'2", 300 pounds. So they want to run behind those guys as Clark throwing left side. That's going to be incomplete. Broken up by Hudson Clark, and it's a turnover on down back to the Scots. You think Hudson Clark maybe is playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder right now?
I'll tell you what, he sure is. And the Scott defense is playing really well right now. Again, huge strength for the Scots this year is their defense. Return a lot of guys. The coaching staff is thrilled about what this defense can do. And right there, they had their backs against the wall. Rockwall had outstanding field position, Miles, and they came up with a big fourth down stop once again. 2
consecutive drives where Rockwall basically started in Scott territory, and the Scots turn him away. As Morris going with the hard count once again. As they spread the field. Look at the arm strength on display as they find Finn Corwin, the senior captain, who, of course, we keep harking back to that state championship game, but I'll never forget that flag route he ran on 4th and 15 against the Manville Mavericks.
It was incredible. Cramped up right afterward, but I'm going to tell you what, John Stephen put it right on the money. That was really, you can say a lot of plays of the year, but that was one of them. Oh, free play.
Rockwall's offsides. It's a free play. They want to looking for Drew Dodge down the sideline, and he hauls it in at the 25-yard line. First down, Scots.
You know, just when you think the Scotties aren't going to be able to produce another unbelievable outside receiver on the left side, here comes another unbelievable receiver in Drew Dodge. He is big, he's physical, he's fast. Again, huge shoes to fill with the loss of Kate Sawstead. But again, this coaching staff is raving about number 5, and they said, look out for this guy. I'm telling you, he can run. And a great read right there. Again, they knew they had a free play, had the offsides penalty, and that's an automatic go. That's an automatic go route. If you're an outside receiver, when you see that happen, great read, and Chandler threw a beautiful ball right there.
Now he's working on Elijah Coleman, who's committed to Howard. And Coleman's a returning starter, actually had 8 tackles against the Scots last year, but that was one-on-one. Good coverage right there by Coleman, but great ball skills on display by Dodge, who was on the Scots 2 deep last year, played quite a bit, only had 3 catches, but already flexing his muscles here in 2018.
Absolutely. He just that flat beat him right there. You know, I love, going through the lineage of those outside receivers. You know, again, Sawstad and Chris Hips and Dalton Stogner and, back to Seth Gardner. I mean, we could go on for days. Those guys, those recognizable names. And curious, I apologize, I did not hear what that call was.
Case Savage has checked many junior that we saw back in 2016. That saw a guy like going back to 2016. Inside receiver, but by the time the season's on you,
going to be calling on you. Got to be ready to go. That's one thing about these Scots, that they're all and numbers in their
Morris surveying the field. Another laser caught by Drew Dodge. How about the arm strength right there by Chandler Eric Cunningham, as there were 2 defenders right there with Drew Dodge, but he had the confidence to zip it in there.
I'll tell you what, if this offensive line holds up and gives Chandler Morris time, we're going to see a lot of that. And what a catch by Drew Dodge. My goodness, that was not an easy catch to make. But once again, these receivers, unbelievable job of catching the football. A lot of people going, what do you mean they're a receiver? At this level, you just don't see that, using your hands. They let the ball, most of these guys let the ball get all the way to their body, not these Highland Park Scots.
Hard count once again for the Scots as Rockwall brings. Chandler makes a guy miss, and he's going to toss that one out of bounds. Took a hit late there from number 20, Anthony Orgy. That's the Vanderbilt commit. But I love the point that you're making, and this is something you've said for years about Scott receivers. Watch any level of football. Watch the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that's exactly
guys
right.
drop the ball.
Yep.
I mean, it really does happen, and guys have poor fundamentals at every level. But at this level, they do such a great job of working with these receivers. And Todd John took a step back from the varsity level this year. They no longer have him, but Morgan Stringer stepping in.
There's another name that I should have thrown in the mix.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable receiver back in, around the, 2009 time frame, 2010.
Morris has plenty of time, great protection. He's got an open receiver, another touchdown for the Scots.
What a bullet thrown right there by Chandler Morris. You hear the term.
Drew Scott on the receiving end.
You hear the term quarterbacks are able to spin the football. Just watch. That ball is a laser. What a route run right there by Drew Scott.
Deep, skinny post.
Yep. Perfect route and a perfectly thrown football. And I'm telling you, Miles, if the offensive line gives him that kind of time, good luck. Good luck, because he's got 4 guys out there that he can choose from. And then you throw in Benner Page to run the football. Again, we talked about the strength, the defense being a strength. I'm going to tell you what, that offense, Coach Allen, anytime you have an offense led by Coach Randy Allen, they're going to put up a lot of points.
And by the way, we haven't even really talked teams much, but Wesley Winters is another in the long line of good Scott kickers. And I talked with Ryan Gibbs before the game. He told me he had a 58-yarder in the indoor last week.
Here's what he told me this morning. He said, Coach, he can two-step to the end zone.
I saw it at practice yesterday.
Two-step. I mean, that is impressive foot strength. Again, Mateo, special kicker. Nick Rose, special kicker.
Jackson Hubbard.
Jackson Hubbard, special kicker. I mean, Nick Rose is kicking for the Houston Texans right now. Mateo goes to Army, and he's kicking for
Jackson
them.
at Duke.
At Duke. I mean, I'm telling you, but I'm going to tell you right now, Winters is going to step in, and he's going to shock a lot of people, because that young man can kick the football a long way, and, again, very accurate as well.
Well, this is fun, huh?
Oh, baby.
Glad to be back here again for Scott football in 2018.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This is not the start Rockwall had in mind. I can promise you that much. Right, Miles, you and I both know this. A lot of football left, but, hey, it's tough to come into this place and beat the Scots.
Hey, there was a lot of tweets from Rockwall players saying 99-2, that the Scott whatever is gone, that it left with John Stephen Jones. Well, I got news for you. Tradition never graduates. As Winters, a high arcing kick will be taken by Jackson Smith, the very dangerous Smith. And he's going to have a solid return out to the 38-yard line. For what it's worth, Smith holds a number of Division I offers, including schools like TCU, Arizona State, Colorado, Vanderbilt, Nebraska. Let's head down to Paige Schnorbach on the sideline.
Thanks, Miles. Obviously, this has kept Rockwall to 0 points in this first quarter, and their coaches are loving it. When the defensive huddle came off the field after the last possession, their coaches were saying, this is amazing. Y'all keeping this team that beat us last year to 0 points. We know they want to throw to number 3, so keep an eye out for him.
By the Scots coming off the edge, that's Colby Hopkins, who has always been a playmaker, but Coach, he's transformed his body. This is a guy that wrestles at a much smaller weight class. He told me he's up to 210 pounds.
Way to play the linebacker position, but what he hadn't lost is his speed. Really run. The Scots run a little stunt right there up front. He big sack.
They throw it right side. That's caught. That's the backup quarterback, Logan Claiborne.
Who, by the way, let me throw a little nugget in here. Logan Claiborne, his dad, is the head golf coach for the Highland Park Scott girl golf team. How about that? Great guy. Matt Claiborne took my job whenever I finished up coaching the girls golf team here. He's a super guy, and Logan is his son. And Matt's been excited to see him out on the football field for a long time. I bet you didn't know that one, brother.
I did not. I can do all the preparation in the world. I still can't one-up Eric Cunningham. That will do it for the first quarter of play. Coach, 14-0 Scots. The prediction I saw by the Dallas News, and the likes of Corbett Smith picked against Highland Park again, by the way, but I saw something that said 45-42. I think a lot of people were disrespecting this Scott defense. And when I talked to Rodney Webb this week, he told me he thought the over-under for this game might be somewhere around 80, 90, 100 points like it was last year. This Scott defense, people might have been sleeping on this group.
You know, Miles, let's be honest. You don't win back-to-back state championships, and you don't possess the type of tradition that this team and this program does without, again, just reloading year after year after year. And, again, this defense continues to play with a chip on their shoulder. They don't feel like they get the publicity and the hype that they deserve, and they continue to produce. Again, you don't win state championships without a stellar defense, and this year is going to be no different.
Coach, I want to speak to you about some of the coaching staff changes here after this play on a 3rd down and 8. They set up the screen.
Oh,
it's intercepted by the Scots, coming back the other way. Hudson Clark has his 2nd pick of the game. Touchdown, Scots. Now, there is a flag down on the field, but Hudson Clark has wasted no time here in 2018.
I think this may be offensive pass interference right here. Unbelievable job of jumping that play. The ball tips up in the air, and Hudson Clark is off to an incredible start. Declined that penalty, and that's a touchdown, my friend.
Touchdown, Scotties. How about Hudson Clark to start 2018? I told you, I think he has been majorly slept on by Division I teams. Anybody evaluating cornerback prospects, this guy's a stud.
Well, you called it, but, you know, here's the deal. What I love is that the Scott coaching staff stuck with him last year. He got off to a tough start. They stuck with him. They stayed positive with him. Lo and behold, he has a great year last year, and he's off to an increase. You can't ask for a better start than this for not just the Scots, but Hudson Clark.
20-0 is the score right now. As Kip Miller, backup offensive tackle, is the deep snapper. Finn Corwin's walking over to the sideline, looking a little confused as they got to run Bennett Brown out there. Kind of a quick change situation here. Still 12 seconds on the play clock, so no rush. Everyone's in position.
Look at Finn just directing traffic.
That's a senior captain for you. Winters has no problem tacking on the extra point. Rockwall was offsides. And Wesley Winters scoring his 3rd point of the year. Oh, check that. Jumped the gun there myself. So back it up 5 yards. Illegal formation against Highland Park. How about this start for HP? It's 20-0, Coach Cunningham.
Well, if you were to ask Coach Allen how he wanted things to get going for the 2018 football season, you couldn't have drew it up any better. Just an outstanding start. But again, this speaks to the preparation, the mindset, the expectation for this team and this program.
Another good snap, another good hold, and the extra point splits the uprights. How about that arm strength, that leg strength on Winters?
I'm telling you.
Looks pretty good.
It's so interesting because this morning, you know, my latest conversation with one of the coaches was with Ryan Gibbs this morning, and he and I were visiting, and he started mentioning several names, and I thought, yeah, who? And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but again, it's just one of those things, Miles, where they just reload. These young men that bide their time, they might have played on the JV Blue team last year, and here they are on a Friday night executing in a big-time situation in front of a sold-out crowd. But again, it just speaks to the mindset that these young men have. You know, from the time that they walk into middle school in 7th grade, they prepare themselves for this moment right here. Perfect start for the Highland Park Scots. A lot of football left, but you couldn't have asked for a better start.
Well, the Scots are already up 21-0. The first play of the 2nd quarter was an interception return for a touchdown by Hudson Clark. And the Scots have already racked up 180 yards of offense, 6 first downs. And if you're Jacob Clark, you've been held to 5 of 8 for 47 yards and 2 picks. Last year against Highland Park, he went for 399 and 5 scores on 75% completions. Might be eating a little bit of humble pie over there on the sideline right now.
Not the start he envisioned, I promise you. Scott coaching staff, I guarantee you, they showed this film to these guys many times. How about that kick?
As Winters boots it into the end zone.
Yep.
Well, extracurricular there at the 15-yard line.
So Miles, let me tell you right now, he two-stepped that to the end zone. That's not easy to do.
Because Rockwall, if you can do that, then the other team has to prepare like there's maybe an onside kick, and then you can boot it over their head.
That's a huge, it's a huge benefit. Huge luxury to have a young man like Winters who, I mean, he just two-stepped that into the end zone.
Hudson Clark, by the way, is the backup kicker. He had a successful point after attempt last year for Highland Park.
Oh, what a start to the season for Hudson Clark. And hey, in this defense, I mean, let's be honest, there's still a 0 on the board. Good tackle right there by Bakich. And he's another one.
Yeah, speak to Brock Bakich real quick.
Yeah, we talked about Keaton and his ability to come up and hit you. Bakich is another, again, older brother, played safety for the Scots, and Bakich will come up, and he is not afraid. I mean, he's a guy that looks for contact.
I feel like we're already underserving a guy number 93, Jack Jurgovan, kind of like we did all last year, just because he just simply does his job, and he really does a great job of setting up other guys, but he does a really tremendous job in there at defensive end.
Yeah. After this play, I want to touch on him.
That'll be a first down for Rockwall across the 35.
You know, Jurgovan, again, Miles, you said it. He not only does he just go in and execute and do his job, he's so steady. And he's big, he's physical, he's strong. Stepped out of bounds.
Went out of bounds over there. Actually, they've now put in Grant Gallus, number 92, who had 4 sacks last year. That's one of the advantages for Bobby Leitner, the Scots defensive line coach. They have a lot of depth on that defensive line. Not only do you have Prince Dorba, who, by the way, we haven't even talked about yet, who is a blue-chip recruit who everybody in the country wants to play college football for them. But you got guys like Spencer Borrego, who came in and played last year, Grant Gallus, not to mention other guys coming up the system, but they've got 5 guys that contribute on the defensive line back for them this year.
Yeah, I know you had a really lengthy conversation with Bobby Leitner. What a great job he does with this defensive line. But, he would tell anybody that this is the deepest and probably the most talented defensive line that he's had since he's been here. And that's a very loud comment, and one that I agree with him, Miles Dunklin. I mean, again, these guys are very talented. Prince Dorba offers from every Division I school in America, you know. But again, just very steady. They just do their job. They're coachable. They're big. And the depth is huge that you speak to. And I'll tell you the other thing they can do that we don't talk a lot about is they can run. They will run you down.
They've already got a couple sacks in this one, as Clark on play action has it complete right side. Not much running room, but a first down for Rockwall. When I talked with Rodney Webb this week, I asked him, hey, tell me about a couple of the different Scots. I mentioned a couple names. I said Prince Dorba, and he said, hey, I'll tell you who I like just as much as Dorba is number 93, Jack Jurgovan.
I think Jurgovan could very easily go play Division I football.
As he wants to heave it deep right side, it's going to be caught and into the end zone for Rockwall. That's the talented junior, Jackson Smith.
Well,
and there's a reason why a lot of Division I programs want him to play for them.
Pretty apparent what they were trying to accomplish in that possession right there is to get the ball in the hands of number 11. I mean, 3 consecutive plays, they throw the football to him, and then right there, really, I felt like Winfield had really good coverage. And that's a tough cover right there for Witt.
As Rockwall looking to tack on the extra point, does so successfully with a 4-year starter in Landry Poppin.
That's good coverage. That's just, again, kind of a...
2 Division I players, quarterback and receiver. Those are good players. You got to tip your cap every once in a while.
Kind of a back shoulder throw, not intentionally, but again, just kind of an underthrown football and just a really nice play there. Going into this game, Miles, you have to expect there was going to be a big play or two out of this Rockwall team.
I'll go back and read the stats that Jackson Smith put up as a sophomore. 83 receptions for 1,328 yards, 9 touchdowns in 6A football. That's a big-time player on the outside.
That's big time. That's big time as a sophomore.
They lost, by the way, another outstanding outside receiver last year in Cameron Creighton, who had 214 yards and 4 touchdowns against Highland Park 1 year ago. As Rockwall now with a little momentum in their student section.
Wouldn't be shocked to see a little
A short pooch kick. The Scots call for a fair catch, and it's Finn Corwin making the grab at the 30-yard line. Now, I talked with Rodney Webb about this Scott home field advantage, and he said, you know, I can't really put my finger on exactly what it is. Coach, I'll ask you to do so. And they don't have just one thing that's their special sauce. It's not that it's so loud. It's not that they pay the referees. What is it? How are the Scots so successful at home? 99 out of their last 100.
Well, I think it's a combination of things. First of all, the Scots relish playing here. They relish in the fact that they're so good here.
They hand it off. A little bit of running room there for Avery Lewis.
The other thing is that exact thing, they are 99-1, and other teams know that. They understand that. They come in knowing that, man, this is going to be a difficult game to beat this team.
Scots go 5 wide, looking to spread it out. Morris steps up over the middle. There's Drew Dodge once again. That's a Scott first down. Do you think maybe it's kind of a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy that people come in here and say, oh, man, this is such a tall task?
That's exactly what I meant by that. Yeah, the whole mindset coming into this thing is, man, oh, they're going to be tough to beat there. They're going to be tough to beat there. Now, certainly you're going to come out and verbally probably say, oh, you know, it doesn't bother us a bit. But you know in the back of your mind how good the Scots are.
They hand it off. Benner Page trying the left side, and he will be stopped for a loss. By the way, Rockwall has absolutely stuffed their side of the field. Great showing here from the Rockwall faithful. And this is a really solid program that Rodney Webb's been putting together out there in Rockwall.
You know, 10 years ago, all you heard about was Heath, Rockwall Heath, and how good they were and how talented they were. Well, that has shifted back to Rockwall. Coach Webb has done an outstanding job of promoting the program. And, again, great athletes over there in Rockwall, a growing community.
Second down and 14. Play action here for Morris. Stepping up. Great job evading the pressure. Throws it to Finn Corwin. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. What a throw and catch.
Is that Ben Smith?
That was Ben Smith. Yeah. Excuse me.
Wow. What a catch there by Smith. You
and
know,
how
Miles,
about Chandler Moore stepping up in the pocket
great
as well?
job. That's exactly what I was about to say. An outstanding job there by Moore, stepping up in the pocket, throwing a BB right on the money. And great job by Ben Smith of securing the catch. That's a name that you have been mentioning for many years that you were anxious to see is Ben Smith.
This junior class is loaded for the Scots as they hand it to Benner Page trying the right side. Nice job by Benner breaking the tackle. That maybe should have been a loss of 1. It turns into a 4-yard gain. He made number 10, Riley Pevlar, miss right there.
Yeah, you know, right now that stretch play has been difficult for the Scots, and the reason why is because this Rockwall defense can really run. They're athletic. They really defend the run well, but I love the fact that Coach Allen's sticking with it. They've got to honor the fact that the Scotties can run the football.
Only 5 carries for about 4 yards right now for Benner Page, but like you said, Randy Allen staying patient. Second down and 6 to go for the Scots. It's a straight drop for Morris, and that one is out of the diving Bennett Brown's hands.
You know, where we may certainly miss the long-range playmaking ability of Paxton Alexander, Benner Page is going to be one of those workman-like running backs that's just going to get the tough yardage. He's going to pick up key third down and 1 and 2 and 3s, you know, and then you throw a Hunter Heath in there who we haven't mentioned yet, but there's your big play guy, a guy that can break it in a hurry. Now, granted, I'm not saying Benner Page can't, but, you know, what you can count on with Benner Page is tough yardage, securing the football. He's not going to put the football on the ground.
Third down and 6 for the Scots. They want to throw the fade to Bennett Brown.
Oh!
A one-handed catch made by Bennett Brown inside the 10. A spectacular grab by the senior.
Wow.
That's
First
as good
of all,
as it gets right there.
Great throw, and what a catch by number 8. Absolutely incredible. As we see a quick replay, I mean, just one-handed grab with a defender in perfect position, but that was just a perfectly thrown football. And the
good
offense
defense, better offense.
Yeah, just better offense. That's right.
First and goal from the 7 for the Scots. Morris facing pressure, throws it out left side. Smith takes a hit, stays on his feet, and they'll give him forward progress to the 5-yard line. He's really been Chandler Morris's safety blanket so far in this one.
you know, Chandler Morris, again, he's a young man that is just going to continue to get better and better and better as he plays at the varsity level.
Through his first career touchdown pass to Drew Scott in the first quarter. Rockwall brings the pressure. Morris takes a hit, delivers a pretty accurate ball there to Smith. Good coverage on the play there for Rockwall. Number 29, Andrew Baumkamp.
Yeah,
Gonna bring up third down and goal here for the Scots.
Riley Pevler brought the pressure right there, and kind of an awkward tackle made right there on Chandler Morris.
Scots certainly want to keep him healthy. Cover zero look here for Rockwall. They want to bring the blitz once again. The Scots go check with me. Look over to Tristan Weber in the neon hat over here on the near side, as well as Ryan Gibbs, and now they run the option. Left side is Morris taking it himself and scoring on the second effort. Chandler Morris does it again. Touchdown, Scots.
How about that strength right there by number 4? Takes a lick, and he's still able to get into the end zone. And right now, that option to the short side of the field has been a great play call for Coach Allen. Not just this early football season, but throughout his career. Great read again right there by Chandler Morris, keeping the football and finding the end zone. Great answer right there by the Scots.
Chandler told me he lost about 12 pounds over the football season last year, and he's worked really hard to put on the weight. They have their performance course player of the week, you know, during the off season. Who's working the hardest? Well, frequently it was number 4, Chandler Morris.
I want to say that I saw a tweet that they did kind of the players of the year throughout the performance course. And I want to say that Morris may have been one of them, Hudson Clark and Reagan Riddle. I saw a picture.
Well, that's a good thing, right? When your best players are your hardest workers, right?
How about that?
That's probably not a coincidence either, is it?
All these young men work so hard. And, you know, but again, that's leadership. That's leadership when you're quarterback, your stud offensive lineman and stud corner, you know, when those guys are out there getting after it, it's going to be contagious for these younger guys and everybody else to say, look, if we're out here getting after it, this is what it takes to win, and then potentially throw up a three-peat. How about that, Miles? I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. First game of the season.
Hey, that's the plan right now for the Scots. They are planning on playing 16 football games this year.
Again, a lot of football left here tonight, but this is a Rockwall team that a lot of people were picking to win their district and make a deep run in the playoffs. I mean, they're number 9 in the area in 6A, my friend.
They beat the Woodlands last year. I mean, that's a stout football program out of Houston. And the Scots lead it 28-7, putting it on Rockwall here in the first half. Hudson Clark and Wesley Winters approach the football. There's a two-step approach for Winters. And he boots it deep all the way to the 11-yard line where it's taken. And that's the very dangerous Jackson Smith. And you can see when he's got the ball in his hands, Jackson Smith is a weapon.
He's a talented athlete, special player. Again, you mentioned the amount of schools that have offered him. He's going to be a highly sought-after young man over the next 2 years. Very good athlete. The Scots just have to contain him. Again, he's a guy that you can't expect to hold him down all night long, but you just got to contain him. Try to negate the big play.
And on the defensive line right now for the Scots, it's Prince Dorba. Number 91, Jeremy Haynes. Number 92, Grant Gallus. Scots have a lot of depth at that position as Rockwall spreads it out 5 wide.
Good
it's complete
tackle.
over the middle, but Ryan Keaton all over it.
Yeah, right there. If he doesn't make that play, that's probably going to bounce for another 10 or 15 yards at least. Great open field tackle by Ryan Keaton. And I'll tell you, great tackling skills. He welcomes the contact. There's a reason why he got out there and played a ton last year.
Woo. Inside handoff, and that's going nowhere. Colby Hopkins with another tackle for loss.
You know,
Colby's always had a knack since freshman year for that A-gap blitz. It's something he's really good at timing. As the Scots run on some subs, here comes Brock Bakich, Jack Jurgovan, as they're going to go with a dime look here. 4 down defensive linemen. Sam Sloan is into the game, number 21. As he steps up, he's going to be sacked by Grant Gallus. Gallus had 4 sacks last year. Another one for the senior.
Well, I look over and Cade Klimskoski was wide open, but Jacob Clark just didn't have enough time to see him because Gallus was all over him. Scots went with that dime look, as you mentioned. It's a zone look, and they had lost a receiver out there on the right side, but a great job of the defensive line getting pressure.
How about this defense so far, Eric Cunningham?
Unbelievable.
One long play with a great quarterback to a great receiver. Other than that, been nothing for Rockwall. And they're going to have to punt it here.
Wow.
Logan Claiborne.
Wow.
And that was a booming effort, but a little too good as it will get into the end zone. Let's head down to Paige Schnorbach on the home sideline.
Last year, the wire and was very close. This year, probably not as close as Rockwall would like, and Chandler Morris loves it that way. Just after this last touchdown, he went over to his offensive squad and said, guys, we're not lightening up at all. This is our game. Do not take the foot off the gas. We are not lightening up, and we'll see if they keep doing that. Back to y'all.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Again, showing that leadership ability. I want to go back to the defense, so Miles. You know, Cade Melton, first-year defensive coordinator for the Scots. We talk about the starts for the players. Coach Allen, what a start for Cade Melton as the defensive coordinator. Couldn't ask for a better first half here so far.
As the Scots go with the two-back look, going to be a handoff there to Benner Page. Not much doing. Scots' offensive line's been really good in pass protection, but advantage so far in the run game for that Rockwall front seven.
A lot of confusion right now up front by Rockwall.
The Scots might have moved early. They did.
All that confusion caused the Scots to jump. Yeah, they had guys in white jerseys all over the place.
You know, it was an interesting year for Rodney Webb and Rockwall last season. As after they beat the Scots, Coach Webb told me, hey, our guys wanted to be fitted for their state rings. They went on to lose 5 of their next 6 games before getting it together before winning a playoff game. I'm going to have Paige give you a special report on exactly how Rockwall wanted to exercise those demons after that losing streak. Get to that in just a moment. 2nd down and 5 here for the Scots. Right side, there's a wide open Drew Scott. Nice hit in the secondary.
You know, on the flip side,
Logan
though, to
Carlin.
that, yeah, on the flip side, Miles, the Scots lose that first game, and then what do? They get right back at it. Those coaches got them back in there and said, boys, we got a lot of work to do, understanding it's the first game of the year, and then they just progressively got better and better. And then as the playoffs rolled around, they were peaking and playing great football.
Big 3rd down and 4 here for the Scots with 3 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the game. Morris throwing left side. It's incomplete. Nice job on the breakup there by Jerry Calio on from his spur position.
Tell you what, 3 young men that we haven't talked a lot about that are off to an outstanding start to this season is Tyler Kilgus, Jack Rourke, and Harrison Hall. Those 3 guys are doing a great job. No varsity experience coming into tonight, but again, Coach Grayson Wells, James Farnsley, they do an outstanding job with that offensive line, and those guys have really done a nice job here tonight.
Jack Rourke, they've been raving about his intelligence. Whoever's on the right side, he's getting everyone lined up. As Stanzel, his 3rd boot of the game.
Attaboy.
Good kick.
Keep it out of
Flipping
11's
the
hands.
field.
Yep. That's the goal. Keep the football out of 11's hands.
Extracurriculars after the play there from Rockwall. Throwing a big block was Rocky Hill after the punt was out of bounds. Not sure what that was about. A couple other Rockwall players trying to settle him down after the play. It's been a relatively clean played game so far, though, considering it's the first game of the year. Coach, a big defensive possession here for the Scots. Clark hands it off. That is number 35.
Yeah, this is a
Corey
big
Kelly.
possession. Certainly, if you can go in at the half up 21, you know, just psychologically, that's a big difference from being up 14. If they can get a stop right here and then potentially get the football back, that would be huge momentum going into half.
Another run here for Rockwall. Scots stuff it. Chris Reed in there. Brock Bakich helping out from his safety spot. 2:50 remaining. It's a big 3rd down and 4. Scots get a stop here. They can get the ball back before halftime, and Rockwall is going to take a timeout to think about it. Which, how about the matchup on the right side of the offensive line? Big Matt Joyce stands 6'5", 320 pounds, number 77. Saw him before the game. He is every bit of 6'5", 320, matching up over there with Prince Dorba, two of the better juniors in the area.
Outstanding matchup, and one I've been kind of looking at all night long. And right now, Joyce is holding his own. But, you know, before the night's up, you know that Prince Dorba is going to make a big play. He's going to have a big sack. He's going to make a tackle for a loss. Heck, he may even pick one off and take it to the house. He's going to make a big play. He's too athletic. Again, we name a school.
Talk about the offseason for Prince.
Yeah, you know, every time I looked up, he was going to visit another big-time program. And when I say big-time, I mean Alabama, Oklahoma, University of Texas, Texas A&M. I mean, you name them, they all want Prince Dorba. He's going to have his pick of the litter come next year.
Only getting better.
Yep.
As well.
And by the way, we're going to get to see him not this year, but next in a Scott uniform.
3rd down and 4 as Clark looks over to the sideline. At offensive coordinator Trey Brooks. Snap it, looking right side, set up the screen. 1st down and more there for Rockwall. It's just going to be hard to bottle up Jackson Smith throughout the course of the game. He is just too talented on the outside. Very fluid runner. They throw it to Smith once again. Nice hit out there by Chris Reed.
Yeah, great job of Wynton Winfield working off that block and coming up and making the play. Yeah, again, he's got his hands full over there on the right side.
With as good as Hudson Clark is, teams are going to want to stay away from 14. Another inside handoff. Hit made initially by Hopkins. Bonnet in there. Gallus. Another key 3rd down as Corey Kelly just picked up a handful. And it's 3rd down and 6. Make it 5. Clark under center. They want to go quickly here. Look for the toss right. There it is. Student body right. There's Prince Dorba.
There he
and
is.
Scott stuff it. It'll be 4th down. Do they call a timeout here? Minute 20 left. You don't want to call a timeout and then have Rockwall make you pay for it.
Well, I'm thinking Coach Webb's going to go for this, which is a risky call because you're giving the Scots the football back.
Maybe let the play clock run all the way down.
Yeah, great field position.
Clark looking to throw, harassed by Dorba. Is it caught? Yes, it is. Once again, it's Jackson Smith going to a knee.
Yeah, great timing right there. He let that football go prior to the receiver even coming out of his break. A lot of trust for that to happen.
First down and 10.
There's
Clark
Dorba.
wanting to go deep. He's going to be sacked by Prince Dorba.
Yeah, they're going to call timeout, I believe. Yep.
Well, we talked about that matchup with him and Matt Joyce, and he whipped Joyce that time. He was in the backfield in a hurry. And if you're a defensive end coach, you only have to make 2 or 3 plays over the course of a game to really wreck the opponent's game plan.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you know, again, you've got a scheme for 32 over there. And again, you've got the opportunity to make some plays that, I love your analogy there, just to wreck the game plan to where they're going to completely do everything they can to go away from you. You know, the quarterback get rid of the football in a hurry because they know that you're going to be putting pressure on him. So Prince Dorba's a guy, number one, you've got a scheme for, and then number two, he can wreck a football game in a hurry single-handedly, as this entire defensive line can. You know, if I'm an offensive coach, And I'm watching film prior to coming in to play the Highland Park Scots. There's no doubt that they look at that defensive line and go, we're going to have issues, because those guys, again, physical, fast, they run really well to the football, but they also execute the game plan very, very well.
And they got a lot of guys with versatility. As you now see number 93, Jack Jurgovan spin inside, and Grant Gallus is outside. It's kind of a pass rushing specialist.
They're gonna
they throw it deep. They want to throw it again. And it's going to be caught at the 10, all the way into the end zone.
I don't think he got there.
Just down at the 1 yard line. Great play that time by Logan Claiborne. We already talked about him.
He's
a slot receiver, but he's a backup quarterback as Rodney Webb going with the trickery. 15 seconds here, 12 seconds. Are they in?
Yep.
No signal yet. Clock is still rolling. Rockwall has no timeouts. Did he get
Touchdown,
in?
yep.
Touchdown. Boy, if the Scots had been able to stuff him right there, that would have been it. But Rockwall, a much-needed touchdown here at the end of the first half as they were out of timeouts. They needed to go fast right there. Coach Cunningham didn't have an option to not score on that play.
Give Rockwall credit. Again, Coach Webb calls an outstanding play there, throwing the ball to Claiborne on the edge. He is the backup quarterback. The Scots lose a receiver down the field, and that's a huge score for this Rockwall program going into the half.
Flags down here.
Again, the Scott defense has played an outstanding half, and holding this offense to only 13 or 14 points in one half is stout. But again, you go into half just kind of with a sour taste in your mouth because, again, all the momentum was on the side of the blue and gold, and Rockwall's going to feel pretty good about themselves going in at half now.
This was an offense for Rockwall last year that put up about 450 yards of offense per game and brought back a lot of their starters. Key positions.
Ooh.
Extra point is up and good. And Rockwall makes it just a 2-score game. Here's we're just a few ticks away from halftime. But Coach, you knew that this wasn't going to be a shutout.
Oh, no.
Rockwall has a lot of really talented offensive players, led certainly by Jacob Clark and Jackson Smith. But this is a large 6A program with a lot of good guys in between Jackson Smith and Jacob Clark.
Absolutely.
Big offensive linemen, other skill position players. Every single year they put a handful of guys into Division I. So this is a tall task, especially if you're Coach Melton. It's your first time ever calling the plays. You got a lot of guys out there playing for the very first time. This is a great test, and we saw it last year. Just because you give up a couple plays in the first game of the year doesn't mean you're not going to be a great defense by the end of the season. But for a week one litmus test, this has been pretty darn good by the Scots here.
Really good, absolutely. Again, you're facing a team that has a ton of weapons out there in Rockwall. So I think it's been an outstandingly played first half by the Highland Park Scott defense. Tough to give up that most recent score, but all things considered, I definitely think Coach Melton will take this first half of football. Really, if you think about it, Miles, 2 big plays. There's really been 2 big plays that have cost them.
Jacob Clark has been relatively efficient. He's 13 for 15, 13 for 16, but the 2 that were not completed were intercepted, and 1 was run back for a score. Can't imagine this would be an onside kick attempt here as they'll squib it. The Scots will grab it. That's Finn Corwin looking to make something happen here to win the first half as the buzzer sounds. Corwin backtracking, and he will go down back at the 25. And that will do it for the opening half of play. Coach, 261 yards of offense for the Scots. For Chandler Morris, a pretty impressive opening half of play. He's got 251 total yards here in his first varsity football game.
Well played first half by the Highland Park Scots. Again, give up 2 big plays, but Chandler Morris was dynamic. Again, he did show the wheels that we talked about early on. He's going to be certainly a threat with his feet, but a really well played first half by the Highland Park Scots. Not to be discouraged by that recent score there by by Rockwall. But we're going to be in for a dogfight the second half. Coach Webb will do a great job of making adjustments, but on the flip side, Coach Randy Allen is a state championship coach, and you know the Scots will have a few tricks up their sleeve coming out in the second half as well.
Well, for Coach Eric Cunningham, I'm Miles Duncan. We're going to take a break. On the other side, we'll have the conclusion of this exciting matchup here between the Scots and the Rockwall Yellow Jackets as you're watching Highland Park football presented by Game On Sports.
Highland Park High School proudly presents the 2018 Highland Bells.
Lieutenants from left to right are Callie Olson, Brooke Marvel, Grace Dodd, Kate Kilpatrick, and Riley Cheek.
See underneath? I don't know. I thought he said outside the...
For your halftime entertainment, the Bells will perform a military routine to Original. Run the track! Spaghetti Supper presenting sponsor is The Program. The Program offers tutoring services in all subjects for 5th through 12th grade students. The proud title sponsor for the 2018 team is Origin Bank. The Bells are under the direction of Mrs. Shannon Phillips. Assistant director is Mrs. Emily Sanchez.
Welcome back to Highlander Stadium. I am Miles Duncan alongside the coach, Eric Cunningham. Coach Cunningham, 28-14 is your score. Now, the Scots were ahead 28-7 in this game. A couple of nice offensive drives. They got 2 interceptions, a number of sacks. The defense looked good. The offense looked good, but this is still very much a ball game here against a Rockwall club that has a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger. This is the number 9 ranked team in the area in 6A, a larger classification than what the Scots are in. What were you most impressed about with Highland Park in the first half?
Miles, that's a tough question. You know, I really across the board, I thought they played well. I mean, obviously Hudson Clark with a phenomenal first half. 2 picks, obviously had the pick 6 as well. Chandler Morris played very well. I thought the offensive line, you know, did a good job, especially in pass protection. They did a nice job. Again, the Scots weren't really able to get the running backs going per se, but Chandler Morris, again, bust off a big run there early on. I thought it was a well-played first half. Unfortunately, you give up 2 big plays, two big pass plays that really are what allowed Rockwall to put up those 14 points. But as a whole, I thought the Scots played very well. This is a key opening first possession here of the third quarter. Again, Rockwall goes in with a lot of momentum at halftime after that late score, and they get the football first right here. So the Scots need to come out focused with a lot of energy here to kick off the second half.
As it will be Wesley Winters and Hudson Clark approaching the ball. Both men booted it in the first half at a certain point. And the Scots attempt an onside kick here, and it's well short. Just a little bit not on the same page that time, as you see Clark and Winters trying to figure out exactly what went wrong. Clark ended up approaching it. They tried the onside, but well short. Needs to go 10 yards. So Scott defense will have their back against the wall here to start the third quarter. But this is a situation they were in a handful of times in the first half, able to come away with stops.
Yeah, that's not the start they were looking for. Conversely, that's exactly what Rockwall wanted. That's a tough break there for the Scots. Looked like there was some definitive confusion up front with the 2 kickers, and tough start for the Scots.
Jacob Clark in the first half was 12 of 15, did throw 2 interceptions. Great job out there by Hudson Clark. Now, Coach, we've talked about his finesse, but how about the strength on display? He pushed Logan Claiborne back into the receiver that time.
Notice what the Scots have done here is they flip-flopped Whit Winfield and Hudson Clark, and they've got Clark over here on the other side to where he and 11 can match up with one another.
Tough matchup against Jackson Smith. Scots have been good against the run throughout this game. Both teams have been solid against the run. Winfield's a little banged up, so Sam Sloan, student body president at Highland Park, checks in. Sam Sloan was a young man, freshman blue team, and here he is on the field. A couple different crossing routes going deep, and it will be hauled in by Jackson Smith. And it looked like Hudson Clark got hurt behind the play.
Well, he cramped up, which is interesting. Winfield ran off the field cramping up as well. That's so interesting coming out of the locker room. Both corners cramp up. You see Hudson Clark's limping off as well right now.
Well, just like that, Coach Cunningham, this is a 1-touchdown game. Rockwall's right back in it. Did not take long. 3-play scoring drive for the Rockwall Yellow Jackets, and they only trail by 8. About ready to tack on the extra point here is the left footer, Landry Poppin.
Oh, what a throw and catch right there. Jackson Smith, that was not an easy catch at all.
Scots nearly blocked it off the edge there with Brock Bakich. As we are underway here in the third quarter. And for the first time here in the second half, let's head down to Paige Schnorbach on the sideline.
Chandler Morris was down here on the sideline getting stretched out by the trainer. We knew this might be a problem, especially this early in the season with how hot it is, and it's a problem to keep the boys hydrated. But the trainers down here seem to be constantly giving them water, making sure they're stretching and trying to help them out.
Coach Cunningham, what kind of things can you do to combat that right now? Now, obviously, electrolytes are a key. I know they used to have the pickle juice down there. Do they still use the pickle juice? How do you combat this cramping?
You know, that's a great question, Miles. I know certainly hydration is key, and I'm not talking about just tonight. I'm talking about throughout the summer leading up to the night. I know that Coach Jay Harris has been here. I believe I just saw this is his 31st year in Highland Park, and he has studied a lot on that. And, you know, he tries to prepare these young men all summer long by drinking a ton of water to hydrate themselves throughout the summer. Obviously, 95 degrees, there's a lot of humidity out here tonight. These guys have sweat a lot, and it's not uncommon to see these types of things happen early in the year.
And now Rockwall tries the onside kick, and they got it. Rockwall has possession. They got one against the Scots last year, and they are in business.
Coach Allen is hot, and for good reason. There was contact made. You've got to allow, you can't go up and block those up men. You've got to give them the opportunity to catch the football. I mean, obviously, you can't go up and hit them like that to block them. And that's what he's upset about, and for good reason.
Now, Coach Cunningham, both Whit Winfield and Hudson Clark are off the field as the Scots have been forced to use Sam Sloan and Christian Wright here against a couple of the best passing options in the area. This is a tough spot here for the Scott defense. Christian Wright, a junior, on the far side. Sam Sloan here on the near side, a senior.
There we go.
And that's one way to combat the passing game. A sack by Jeremy Haynes.
Get that defensive line going, baby. You're exactly right. They were looking to go deep. Again, they wanted Jackson deep right there, and a great job by that defensive line of stepping up. You talk about big possessions in this football game, Miles Dunklin, this is one right here.
Ryan Keaton back in the game as well. He was off the field for the Scots. As you got to know, they are in a rush to get Hudson Clark back out there. Here's a run for Rockwall, a successful one up the middle. That's number 24, Jimmy Gastineau.
I think that's 26.
26, rather. That's Khalil Gatlett. Clark throwing right side after the catch. Nothing doing, but that will be a first down for Rockwall at the 35-yard line. Coach, momentum has definitely flipped here against the Scots.
Yeah, this is the exact start that the Yellow Jackets were looking for to the second half. I mean, that's exactly what they needed. Quick score, get the onside kick.
Scots bring the blitz up the middle. They throw it right side. It's complete to Jackson Smith once again. Smith loose down the sideline, and he will get knocked out of bounds inside the 10. Look at Coach Melton down there. He is red hot.
Absolutely, had every reason to be. I mean, that was a definitive hold. Orgy was, and pardon me.
That's number 21, Orgy.
Sam Sloan, I apologize. Yeah, Sam Sloan and Orgy's out there as well, but Sam Sloan against Orgy.
And that could be intentional grounding. Jacob Clark didn't leave the pocket as he threw it out of bounds. But that is number 21, Alex Orgy, a freshman. On the outside, 21 working against 21.
Sam Sloan was getting held right there on the play before, and that's why Cade Melton is going nuts for good reason.
Big spot here for this Scott defense. 2nd down and 8, nursing a 7-point lead. Rockwall's already scored 14 consecutive points. They hand it to Gatlett once again. Little extracurriculars there between Jeremy Haynes and one of the offensive linemen for Rockwall. This thing's got chippy in a hurry here, Coach Cunningham.
Well, it has. It sure has. The energy level has picked up dramatically here early in the second half. Scott's got a bow their neck right here, Miles Dunklin.
As Hudson Clark has re-entered the lineup for Sam Sloan. Still Christian Wright on the far side for the Scots. And Rockwall's going to take a timeout. Rodney Webb knows exactly how important this play is for his club. And here comes a flag. It's thrown against the Scots sideline.
Last season, which was Rockwall ended up beating in a close game Highland Park. After that, they went on to lose in 5 of their next 6 games. Following that 6th game and all those losses, they came together as a team and burned a lot of their equipment in a trash can. Their practice uniforms, their old equipment. They wanted to have a sort of cleansing and get rid of the bad juju and be able to go forward stronger. Back to y'all.
Yeah, fascinating that Rockwall was wanting to burn equipment to kind of get the monkey off their back after losing 5 out of 6 games. But Coach Cunningham, what's going on here with this flag thrown against the Scots sideline?
Yeah, they're calling it on Cade Melton. I mean, he is a very energetic guy. You know, I know he's frustrated on several fronts right now. Couldn't get a call that he was looking for, but then obviously not the start he envisioned for this Scott defense. And again, he's a very passionate coach, shows a lot of energy. And sometimes, Miles, these coaches do these types of things just to, you know, kind of spur his team, you know, just to kind of fire him up a little bit.
Unfortunately, it goes from 3rd and goal to 1st and goal.
It does. It's tough. Yeah, that was a tough one to swallow. That just gave them an automatic 1st down. You know, what's interesting is he was trying to talk to the official, Prince Dorba, a junior, comes over, puts his arm around him, and I'm sure he looked at him and said, "Coach, we got you." It just speaks to the maturity level of 32.
Big penalty there against the Scots. It's now 1st and goal for Rockwall, as they're going to have 4 cracks at it from 3 yards out to tie the ball game. And they got Jackson Smith behind center as they're going to snap it right to him. Smith into the end zone, touchdown, Yellow Jackets. Just like that, 20 consecutive points rattled off by Rockwall, and they're an extra point away from tying this thing up. It was 28-7 with 3 seconds left in the first half. Here we are 2 minutes into the 3rd quarter, and Rockwall has tied the game, 21 points in just over 2 minutes.
Yeah, you talk about a game of momentum. Every ounce of it is on the side of Rockwall right now. Give them all the credit. They've done exactly what they've needed to do to start the second half. That late score in the first half was such a key for them. I mean, right now, we got to get the offense on the field. I mean, they have not touched the field here in the second half. Look at Chandler Morris. We're trying to pick him up.
Coach, what are you saying here if you're Randy Allen? And obviously there's no panic in this coaching staff led by the legendary Randy Allen. And certainly they've been in this situation before. They've been in hairier situations than this one. But what's the message to your club here if you're Coach Allen?
Well, you know, again, you want to tell them to stay the course, but we got to get a little energy going right now on the side of the blue and gold. We got to get a little energy going. I mean, obviously all the momentum is on the side of Rockwall. I wouldn't be shocked right now, Miles, if we don't see another onside kick. That wouldn't surprise me the least bit. Again, I think Rodney Webb knows that his ball club has every ounce of momentum, and it wouldn't shock me to see them do something like that again. But right now, the Scots need to sustain a drive. Let's get Chandler Morris on the field, and let's sustain a drive. And you know, again, you'll take a big play, but if they could just string a nice drive together and obviously put points on the board, would be absolutely huge. What you can't allow to happen, though, is to get the football and then go 3 and out.
And Rockwall will try another onside kick. And that one did not go far enough, and the Scots and Drew Scott did a great job of just jumping up and knocking it out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't think that football was going to make it 10 yards anyway, but they did exactly what I expected. You know, Coach Webb.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've kind of said that for a few years now. I like the idea of the onside kick over the course of the regular game.
Makes sense.
Maybe you only are giving up a first down or two, and you have the ability to potentially create a turnover with that onside kick recovery. A lot of the times that you pooch it to the 35, here the Scots are starting at the 50 with an unsuccessful onside kick. Obviously the Scots tried to start this half. That's Chandler Morris. Hands it to Benner Page. Lots of running room for Page up the middle. There he goes across midfield. Benner Page at the 30, the 25, inside the 20. A little momentum back on the side of blue and gold.
That's what we needed. That's what I'm talking about. A great run right there by Benner Page. What I mean by that is he had to make a little shift up front. If we can get a replay of that, I'm not sure if we do. But I'll tell you what, there was a great vision right there by Benner Page. You see right here, right, boom, that little shift right there, great run. And then he shifts the football into his left hand, and then he's going to protect the ball. Great opening run there by Benner Page.
Great job by the right side of the Scott offensive line as Morris throws a dart right side. It's Ben Smith turning the corner, and Smith will pick up about 8. It's been a productive first game for Ben Smith. That's his 4th catch.
Well, he's quick. He is quick. Well, this is a big-time drive here for the Scots. Go down and put some points on the board. Tell you what, it's getting chippy out there, Miles Dunklin. You see a little extracurricular going on across the board, and down in the trenches, they are getting after it right now.
Well, these two teams, there was an article in the Dallas News this week. Is this a budding rivalry? Right now, I tell you, yeah, it is. Scots go with the hard count. Hand it to Benner Page, up the middle, little running room. Nice spin move by Benner. And he's got a Scott first to the 5-yard line. Tyler Kilgus throwing a nice block right there.
Good call there, Miles Dunklin. I'm going to tell you, Tyler Kilgus laid an outstanding block on the nose guard right there and pretty much just threw him down. I've been impressed with 52 here tonight. Tyler's done a great job. First of all, snaps are right on the money, but he is handling a tough nose guard up front. Nice block, though.
Spot here for Highland Park. First down and goal at the 5. Chandler Morris has 3 receivers to his left. They tried to run the option to the short side. Nothing doing there. Rockwall was all over.
Yeah, they brought pressure off the edge right there, and I think that's one where if Chandler had to do over again, he would have pitched the football, and the Scots may have been onto something, but he just didn't even have a chance to.
So a loss of 2 for Highland Park. Morris scanning the field, looking left side, stepping up, and that's going to be intercepted, going back the other way for Rockwall, and he is off to the races. That is Anthony Orji, the Vanderbilt commit, and he will score. And the Scots have a late hit on the back end of that play as well. Now there is a flag down at the 16-yard line.
Morris got rocked. He did. He absolutely got lit up, and he's shaking up a little bit.
There was a late hit by Highland Park as well on that play after the interception, and it got flagged. Now, Coach, 28 consecutive points rattled off here by Rockwall. We still need to see what the flag is. They're both going to be against the Scots. Coach Cunningham, we said it, no panic in Randy Allen. But this is concerning for the Scots, trying to protect this home field advantage. They have not lost to a team from Texas since October the 10th of 1998, when Denison beat them 22-20. That's a long time ago.
Well, there's a lot of football left still, and again, they have definitely been punched in the mouth, so to speak. And great start by Rockwall here, and say you couldn't have asked for a better start. That was one where there was a ton of pressure right in Chandler's face from the get-go, and I think he was trying to throw the football away, and unfortunately just right into the arms of Orji. But really the Scots had what they wanted as far as getting some momentum back and a nice little drive.
As the Scots have given up 28 consecutive points. Now 35-28 is the score. 7 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Let's head down to Paige Schnorbach on the sideline.
Eric, you said it, Chandler Morris got hit pretty hard on that last play, and the coaches were not happy about it. They were looking for a roughing the passer call. They didn't get it. Now let's see if Highland Park can shake this off and take the win back. Back to y'all.
Thank you, Paige. Coach, how do you regroup here?
Well, if anybody can do it, Randy Allen can. I think everybody over there is kind of scratching their head right now. And this happened in a hurry. I mean, the first 5 minutes of the second half, Rockwall has put up 21 points, and it happened very, very quickly. So, again, go back to what you did early in this football game. And the Scots had a nice drive going there, and then, you know, this is a really good Rockwall defense. And they're able to get pressure there in Chandler's face. And, you know, again, first start of the junior's career here. And just gotta right the ship. Stay positive with them. Find a way to make it happen right now. You know, there's a saying that I can remember that goes back a long, long time. Let the Scots find a way. You can bank on you're going to see an onside kick right here for them kicking at the Scott 45-yard line.
Yeah, and there was a late hit down the field by Highland Park that was a frustration foul by the Scots. But now you've got to recover this onside kick if you're Highland Park. And they've already shown the ability that they can really execute this from Rockwall's perspective. And they do kick it deep. I'm shocked at that. Worst case scenario, you give it to the Scots there at the 25. And now they're going to take over at the same spot.
I don't guess I understand the rationale there, Miles.
I'm searching for a reason why to kick it deep. Not sure I have one.
Another really big possession right here for Highland Park. Big possession.
Chandler Morris.
And right now,
back under center.
Yeah, you get in the huddle, and somebody's going to have to make a play. You know, and it sounds pretty simplistic, but you need somebody to step up and make a play and give the Scott faithful something to cheer for.
They throw it right side. That's caught by Finn Corwin, breaking a couple tackles, and Corwin has an HP first. Relatively quiet night for Finn. That's his second catch so far.
Yeah, that guy will make a play. I guarantee you. He's a playmaking machine.
He averaged
and Finn
21 yards per catch last year.
Yeah, Finn always seems to find a way to make the dramatic play as well. You know, last year early in the season, all he did was score touchdowns.
Had a 46-yard bomb against Rockwall last year. They bring the house. And there's a wide open Drew Scott with some running room across midfield down to the 48-yard line.
Love the play call right there. Rockwall dialed up pressure. The Scots run that crossing route right behind where the linebackers would have been. Great read there by Chandler. Great job by the offensive line of holding up with the pressure right in their face, giving him just enough time to find Scott coming across the middle. That's a big play.
Three receivers to the right. It's Corwin and Smith. Bunch right there at the hash. Dodge to the left, Scott to the right. And they hand it to Benner Page with some running room up the middle. Great Scott by Drew Dodge. Great block by Drew Dodge down the field. As Page stepped out of bounds there at the 20. How about that block by number 5? Great job by the interior of the offensive line. And Benner Page getting rolling here in quarter number 3.
There's that counter. That's been a great play for the Scotties. Great patience right there by Benner Page of just allowing the hole to form and then getting it up in there. And Benner's starting to find a little rhythm here in this football game. I love his patience, you know. He's a patient runner. Take what they give you. Then when you have an opportunity to bust a big one, that's what he's doing.
First down and 10 for the Scots. They hand it to Benner Page once again on the counter. Patient running once again by Benner. He's got the 16.
Again, yeah, patience. Nice job. Just pick up what you can get. He picks up 4 yards right there.
Not all doom and gloom for the Scotties here. A touchdown in this game is top.
Yeah,
a lot of football left to play.
There's a lot of football left. You got to remember, you're playing a great team. This Rockwall Ball Club is not just going to lay down and roll over.
4G showing blitz right in the middle. They bring the house as Morris stares down the barrel of the gun, delivers a strike. It's caught by Drew Scott. Touchdown, Highland Park.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, you called a perfect call right there, Miles Dunklin. He did stare right down the barrel of the gun. He knew he had pressure right in his face. He waited on the play to develop, Great job up front by the offensive line, and then he throws an absolute BB to Drew Scott. Great route. Again, same route run right there by Scott. That's a big-time score for the Scotties.
Well, like we said, no panic in Randy Allen. No panic in Chandler Morris. And that's one of my favorite things to see out of a young quarterback. We talked about it. The pressure's coming right at you.
Well, the easy thing to do is to bail.
The easy thing is either to bail out or it's to have poor fundamentals, maybe not step into the throw. But when there's a guy coming right at you, we're going to see it right here, and you step into the throw, that's confidence. That's moxie right there from a junior.
Love that call right there. Great hands by Scott with the catch.
Scott's going to be a player. I'll tell you that right now.
He sure is, absolutely. But that's a big-time score for the Scotties, one that they had to have. Now, you've done two things. Obviously, you put points on the board, but you've also given your defense an opportunity to just catch their breath. You know, they've played a lot of football here in the third quarter. Give them an opportunity to catch their breath, and then now we got to go out and get a stop.
As Highland Park ties the game, 5:08 remaining here in the third quarter. Let's head down to our Paige Schnorbach on the sideline.
Miles, thank you. As you all saw, that was an amazing catch. The Highland Park is never one to feel pressure. They always come back and respond. And I don't know about you, but with his height, I was getting major Cade Stosted vibes from Drew Scott just now.
I like that call, Paige. When I talked with a couple of the Scott coaches, they said the name Dalton Stogner when talking about Drew Scott.
I like that call.
As Winters kicks it deep. It's a nice boot. It'll be taken at the 8-yard line. Trying to get to the outside. Good gang tackling there by HP. All right, Coach Cunningham. Brand new ball game.
Here we go, baby.
17 minutes to play. 4:58 left here in the third quarter. 35-35. What do you think?
You know, Miles, if you would have asked me with 4.5 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, if we'd be tied at 35, I would have said, yeah, that's a pretty good assessment. You know, you knew that Rockwall wasn't going to lay down. Like I said earlier, that was a big-time score for the Scots. But I'll tell you what, this is what you want in week one. Two quality football teams going at it.
Hudson Clark has had to come off the field once again as they hand it off of the gut. Prince Dorba on the bottom of the pile as usual. Coach, it's critical for them to get Hudson Clark back on the field.
Yeah, you can see he's being stretched out. He just cannot seem to get rid of these cramps right now.
Christian Wright is back out there. You got to know that Rockwall is aware of where Hudson Clark is. There's cramping on both sides right now. Rockwall's had some players leave the game as well. As Clark wants to go deep over the middle, it's incomplete. Looking for number 17 for the Yellow Jackets. That's J.J. Williams out of the slot.
I'll tell you what,
Good
Miles,
coverage there by Backett.
If I'm a receiver, I'm going to watch my lips a little bit coming across the middle with Backett right there waiting on you because he will light you up.
He is looking to inflict some pain.
That's a great way to put it. He and Katon will hit you.
And you know what? He's just a junior, but he is built like a man already. Third down and 10. Clark rolling right.
Nope.
That's going to be caught.
No.
Incomplete.
No,
nope,
they give
it's
it
a
to
catch.
him.
But is it good for the first? And that's Alex Orgy, the freshman.
About a half a yard short. Here we go.
Half a yard short. It's fourth down and short. Rockwall wants to go for it. The Scots put several men down on the line. And they want to throw it. It's incomplete. Clark short arm that one, and the Scots take over, and now momentum is wearing blue and gold.
I'm shocked by that play call. I mean, they try to run a little skinny, kind of wasn't even a slant route. Yeah, I mean, what a risky call right there, and I don't think Rodney Webb is happy at all with Jacob Clark. But, you know, sometimes when you get too big of a hurry like that, that's what can happen. That's a huge stop for the Scots, now having the ball on the Rockwall 40-yard line.
I think Clark might have anticipated that route being a little more shallow than it was. He's clearly got the arm strength to get the ball there. First down and 10 for Highland Park as this thing has gone back and forth. They hand it to Benner Page, favoring that counter play here in the second half.
You know, Miles,
Spinner falls forward for a couple.
Pardon me. This is the point in the game where sometimes you'll see Coach Allen bring out some little trickery. This is that point.
I like the call. I like it.
Sometimes, you know, you got, okay, now we got to stop. We got a little momentum back on our side. If we can hit a big play right here, you just never know. He may pull something out of his hat right here. I like the
call, especially when maybe you get the sense that the other team is losing a little bit of focus. Chandler Morris using that hard count. They've gone to that a lot tonight. Now they go check with me. Looking over at the sideline. Coach Allen and his crew. Dialed up a dive there for Benner Page. Modest gain, but it'll set up a manageable third down.
You know, if I'm Benner, I love following Butts and Riddle. You follow 76 and 53, and good things are going to happen. Those two guys drove their defensive linemen backwards right there.
It's not a real big defensive line for Rockwall. Big linebacker and secondary core, but 230, 240, 205 on the D line for Rockwall. Third down and 4. Another blitz from the Yellow Jackets.
What a catch.
What a grab that is on the near sideline by Drew Dodge.
Well, outstanding job by Benner Page, first of all, of going over and picking up the blitz. Orgy came off that safety blitz, and Benner comes over and makes a tremendous block just to give Chandler the opportunity to step into that throw. But my goodness, what a throw and catch right there by Morris and Drew Dodge.
Fresh set of downs for the Scots. 2-by-2 set here. It's Smith and Dodge to the left, Corwin and Scott to the right.
And you know what? That may be Paxton Anderson over here on the far left side.
You know what? It is Paxton Anderson, number 6.
I mean,
that play's going to go for a loss, but let's touch on Paxton Anderson here, who made that great catch. It was not Drew Dodge, it was Paxton Anderson.
What a catch. I mean, there again, just adding to that layer of depth for this Scott receiving core. What an incredible catch there by Anderson.
That's John Stephen Jones' cousin. And Paxton, a lot more physical than John Stephen. Paxton's 6'4", 190 as a junior. Morris has all kinds of time. Boy, if that one might have been on target, it might have gone the other way. If that's incomplete, it'll be third down and 11. And Coach, we haven't seen a whole lot of the misdirection. We've seen some counters. We haven't seen a whole lot of screens and draws in this game.
Good call.
Do you see this as a possible spot for a screen?
I do. You know, that's a play that we've seen over the last few years to Paxton that was just, you know, a killer to opposing defenses. That kind of that throwback screen, get those offensive line out front. There it is.
Has plenty of time, scrambling now to his left, looking for a receiver. He's got Ben Smith at the 9-yard line. Great rapport between the two as Smith came back to the football and made the grab.
Outstanding job there by Chandler Morris of buying himself some time. That is not an easy throw to make right there. Miles Dunklin, you're moving to your left. That's one throw that I remember over the last 2 years John Stephen made very well. Chandler does a great job of getting his shoulders turned effectively and throwing a bullet to Smith.
That was a John Stephen Jones-esque play right there by Chandler Morris, extending the play.
That's one of those plays of the game right there.
And now they run the option. Morris going to keep it himself, and he will score. The Scots are back in front. Make it 41-35 HP.
Now that right there is why they're the Highland Park Scots and the back-to-back state champion, is because they were just getting punched in the mouth, give up 21 unanswered, and then they come back and roll off 14 unanswered to take the lead. Great job by Coach Allen rallying the troops and getting that momentum back on the side of the Scots.
Kip Miller runs out to do the deep snapping.
Again, a great job of blocking, not just on the left side of the offensive line, but the receiving core does a great job of blocking there for that option play to make it to the end zone.
High snap, but a great hold right there by Finn Corwin. And Finn actually used the deep snap as well.
Finn
freshman
will do it all.
and sophomore
Finn will do it all.
Also a varsity basketball player, by the way.
Yeah, you come watch the Scott basketballers, and you'll see Finn out there getting after it. He's just a gamer. He's a winner. Gamer.
I'll take him on my team.
Absolutely. You know, the Scots they're battling right now, and they've got some key members over here on the sideline as well.
And Keaton trying to get back out on the field. Hudson Clark trying to find a way to get back out on the field. And those are really irreplaceable members of that secondary. Even a guy like Brock Bakich down there dealing with cramps.
And Winfield.
Winfield is limping.
Winfield, yeah, they're all walking
it's a
around.
mash unit right now in that secondary.
Water cups in their hand trying to hydrate themselves.
Number 49 leaving the field late there for Highland Park.
Well, that only gave us
Cal Hershey.
Yeah, that only gave us 10 players.
Now he's got to get back out there. Hershey will do a lot of middle linebacking this year. Nice young player, just a junior. And Winters boots it deep.
Gonna have to make a play here.
That's Jackson Smith on the return. He has a little bit of room.
There you go.
Nice play by number 92 for Highland Park. That is Andrew Bonnet. Or excuse me, that's 92. Is that Grant Gallus down there?
Nah, Christian Wright, I know he was in there. He's made a couple plays now on special teams, and now he's having to stay in there and play corner because Clark is still over on the sideline. So is Winfield. That's Sam Sloan up.
It is. Sam Sloan at the top of the screen.
And did you mention Sam as a student body president?
Sam is the student body president. That's
Love it. Love it. Well-rounded.
Absolutely. Interesting timeout call here by Rodney Webb after a long drive by the Scots. I think you'd have an idea what you want to do on offense when you get the ball back. But they burn a timeout here, and they only have one remaining.
That's interesting.
So that's good news for Highland Park. It nearly cost them dearly in the first half to have to burn a couple timeouts as time nearly expired, as they punched it in to end the first half with 2 seconds on the clock. Everybody's working hard tonight, including the managers, the trainers, the water boys, everybody having to hustle. Keep these guys out on the field. As the Scots' two starting corners are both out of the game with cramps. As Jacob Clark now steps up, he wants to run. Lowers his shoulder, takes a big hit there from Christopher Reed. Clark's a big boy. He's 6'5", 220. Like you said earlier, he does not want to run, but he is willing to do so and put his shoulder down that time. First down and 10 here for Rockwall, trailing by 7. 45 ticks remaining here in the third quarter. They want to throw the screen, the swing pass rather, out there to Gatlin. He's got it, close to a first down. Bakich is shaken up now. They're going to have to send Harrod out. How many members of the secondary can the Scots lose in this game?
Looks like we've got a D lineman down, and it looks like maybe a knee of some sort. He's holding the left knee. Looked like 92.
That's Grant Gallus. His brother absolutely dominated the freshman game last night. No less than 15 tackles, also had an interception return for a touchdown. Rockwall actually beat the Scots A team last night in the freshman game with a walk-off
last second
field goal, and they celebrated like they won the Super Bowl. But hey, you beat Highland Park at home. I don't care if it's cricket or football or fifth grade soccer or whatever. You're going to celebrate when you beat Highland Park. And it looks like Gallus is going to be able to walk off on his own power. That's a good sign. Coach, put me inside the head of Christian Wright and Sam Sloan here. You're prepared to go out there, maybe the dime set, maybe get a couple plays here and there, but now you're the man here for this entire second half against one of the best receivers in the area.
Well, I'm sure they're loving it. And early in this game, you remember me mentioning, you just never know when your number's going to be called. I would assume they probably didn't think they'd be out there this early in the season, but here they are in a huge situation.
As Clark wants to go deep, he's harassed. Prince Dorva chasing him down, And he will have to throw that one out of bounds. Who was that closing in? That was Hopkins. You could see the closing speed on display by Hopkins. He was shot out of a cannon.
And Dorba does, he may not look like he's running, but the strides are so long, and he can flat run you down. I mean, for a D lineman, he'll get out and get after it. But Hopkins, I mean, he did. He literally looked like he was shot out of a cannon. Big third down right here. 3rd
down and 2 to go for Rockwall. Trailing by 7. An outstanding first game of the year as they hand it off at the middle. Lots of running room up the middle. And Keaton's going to make the play at the 35. 1st down, Rockwall.
Yeah, he got banged up right there.
Number 28 is not even on our depth chart provided to me by Coach Rodney Webb.
Yeah, Keaton.
That's Khalil Catlett. Keaton, I think he might have blew the tire before even he made the play.
Yeah, I think well, first of all, Lightbourne, they bring him on a blitz and they get burned right up the middle. Rockwall does a good job of picking that up, and then that run came right where Lightbourne would have been.
Boy, the Scots have just had just about every member of their secondary go down with cramps. I mentioned that to Paige Schnorbach before the game. Hey, it doesn't matter how much off-season conditioning you do. There's nothing like playing a full football game. And as hot as it is out there, and it's hot and humid, there's only so much preparation you can do in terms of hydrating, salting your food, etc. It's just hard to be in game shape on August 31st.
It is. I mean, this is not uncommon to see this happen early in the football season like it is. And I know Coach Harris is probably beating himself up over there right now, but unfortunately, you said it, Miles, there's just not much you can do.
Well, I saw a couple of these guys actually at the Dallas Country Club today having lunch. And I said, drink your water, fellas. Keaton comes off the field. Thankfully, they have Christopher Harrod. But he's more than capable of filling in. Played a good amount last year as a junior. Play action pass. They want to go deep. And he will be sacked.
Great blitz drawn up right there by Cade Melton.
And that's the 2nd sack of the game for Christopher Reed.
Bring that outside blitz, and he does a great job of holding on, making a big-time sack.
And that's the last play of the 3rd quarter. Paige, what do you have to say down there on the Scots sideline?
Miles, Eric, we knew John Stephen Jones was going to leave a hole in this offense, and coming into the season, everyone was wondering how Chandler Morris was going to fill it. He has shown his capabilities tonight. He seems to be equally dangerous, passing and running, but the person who's most critical of his performance is Chandler Morris himself. After his last pass for a touchdown, he came off the field, and when someone tried to congratulate him, he said, "No, I don't know what's wrong with me. I need to condition more. I can barely breathe." So he is constantly trying to get better. He's always critiquing his own performance, and I'm sure that goes into what makes him such a great player. Back to y'all.
Absolutely. In fact, I talked with Chandler yesterday, and you see a lot of these kids, Coach, and I'm up here on Thursday nights watching the sub-varsity games. A lot of them that are varsity players going to be playing the next night. I see them with a Whataburger bag, eating a cheeseburger, and you know, you're 17. That might not kill you like it would for me and you, a couple of old guys up here. But I talked to Chandler. I said, "Hey, how's your diet?" And he says, "I eat right." So I go to Eatsies, and when everybody else goes to Qdoba, you know. And this guy cares about every single facet of his game, including conditioning, eating right, all that good stuff. After the sack, it's 2nd down and 19 to go for Rockwall. 2 receivers to the right. That's where Jackson Smith is, wide to the right. Always got to know where he is. He's being guarded out there by Christian Wright as they go with the play action pass. They want to go his direction. He got behind the defense, but the ball was too far.
Please tell me we're not cramping up. Oh, my goodness.
And if Christian Wright goes down, I'm not even sure who the next corner up would be. And Wright is having to come off the game. Now Hudson Clark is running around on the sideline.
He's trying to find his helmet.
Let's get Hudson a helmet. Got to get him out there. Now they really need it. Finn Corwin.
Finn was about to go play DB. Yeah, they're going to have to call timeout.
What do you think about Finn Corwin running out on the field there?
That's captain right there. He said, hey, I'll go out there.
What do you tell me to do? Guard number 11.
Done. That's right.
That's your assignment.
The problem is, right now, Hudson Clark
played a great first half.
Had a tremendous first half, but Jackson's just a heck of a football player, and he can really, really run. And right now, his speed is giving us issues. And I think Rockwall obviously recognizes that, and they're trying to exploit that. Right there, they had a touchdown if that ball would not have been overthrown.
Hard to overthrow Jackson Smith.
Yeah.
But Jacob Clark just put a little bit too much mustard on that one. Scots break the huddle with Finn Corwin running out to play corner. That's new. I've seen these guys freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. Never seen Finn play corner before, but he's out there. They need him. Not sure how his technique is, but he's going to give you all he's got. As Rockwall was not ready. And that play was a disaster. Colby Hopkins absolutely destroyed Zach Henry on that play.
If I'm Zach Henry, I'm going, let's not run that again, if y'all don't mind. God. The offensive line just stood still, and I know that was kind of the intent, but that was a thing of just sheer disaster. Colby Hopkins said, thank you. Y'all stand still. I'm going to run up and hit this guy. That's all right.
And boy, did he.
Yes, he did.
All right, so Corwin going to stay out on the field and go back to return the punt here. And now the Scots look like they made a stop, even with half the secondary in a mash unit.
They've righted the ship. That's right, right the ship.
They nearly blocked it. That was Bakich who goes down with a cramp. The ball's loose. It'll go out of bounds. Boy, Bakich now limping off the field. It's going to be a really good win here for the Scots if they're able to overcome all this adversity. Especially, Coach Cunningham, if I was to tell you there's one area on the field where you can't lose 3/4 of your unit, it would have to be the secondary, right?
Secondary, absolutely.
Especially the way this other team is built. You just cannot lose your top defensive secondary members.
Again, Miles, that just goes to show how important depth and everybody being prepared. There's not many teams in the state of Texas that could handle right now this type of adversity at the secondary spot and still be executed.
As the Scots are back to it on offense with a 7-point lead, they run the counter once again. Benner Page into the open field. Page picks up the 16-yard line. They clearly found something with that counter. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Great play right there. I'll tell you, there's no telling when's the last time Finn Corwin went over there and played secondary corner. But you know what? He went out there. Finn's one of those guys that just can do it all. He's very astute to what's going on both sides of the football. Understands the game. Very smart player, and he's a great athlete. Yeah, love that counter play.
Really, Coach Allen does right now. 2nd down and 4. Morris, left side, it's caught. Drew Dodge having a coming out party tonight. That is his 4th catch for 70 yards. 5 different men have caught a football tonight. 5 different men have caught at least 2 balls.
Yeah, great
for
route.
The Scots.
Great route run right there by Drew Dodge. And great timing on the throw as well.
I think that 6 men have caught a ball for Highland Park. Scott, Drew Dodge, Ben Smith, Bennett Brown, Finn Corwin, Paxton Anderson. So they spread it out once again. 4 receivers to the right of Morris. Chandler on play action, has to make something happen, throwing deep over the middle. It's caught by Finn Corwin, made a man miss. He's still on his feet across midfield, needs a block. Corwin will go down at the 32-yard line. What a play by Chandler Morris.
Oh my goodness, unbelievable play by Chandler Morris. Just incredible.
And Morris is limping, and Morris looks like he's about to go down. Bennett Brown is the backup quarterback.
I don't know if he maybe rolled his ankle. They threw him up in the air kind of when he went to throw, they kind of lifted him up in the air, and he may have kind of come down on his ankle incorrectly.
What an effort by Corwin.
Good luck. Yeah, outstanding effort by Corwin. Great throw there by Chandler. And good luck getting 4 off the field right now.
Chandler is visibly limping. And they hand it off. Inner Page up the middle.
I know he appreciates the fact that Coach Allen.
Yeah.
Here's a running play. Hand it off and
get out
shaking
of the way.
It off.
Chandler is obviously hurting right now. Scott is wide to the right.
Well, this would be a huge
Grant
possession.
McVeigh has checked into the game, number 13. I was going to say that's Scully Genevine. It is not. It is Grant McVeigh, 6'2 junior. Second down and 6 to go. Now they go check with me. Great enthusiasm from both student sections right now. As Morris rolling right, looking deep, it's caught. That's Grant McVeigh.
Wow.
Inside the 20, the 7th man to catch a pass for Chandler Morris tonight. And how about the trust in that Scott coaching staff? Hey, Grant, you haven't played all game. Get in there in the clutch, make a play.
That's depth, absolutely. I mean, I think the Scott coaching staff felt great about this receiving core, 1 to 8, really. Going into this football game. And they've showed this is a critical point in the game, 4th quarter. They may have had a game plan that, hey, we're going to play this guy at this point in the game, and that's what they've stuck with.
1st and 10.
Oh, what a throw right there by Chandler Morris.
Gutsy.
Oh, no.
As the ball goes through his legs, Chandler's going to have to fall on it. Back at the 24-yard line. Bad timing for the first bad snap of the game. I think Corwin is cramping as well, as he's going to check back in here for Grant McVeigh. Got Ben Smith in the slot on the top of the screen.
Drew
Dodge. Drew Dodge.
Drew Scott, yep.
Drew Scott and Finn Corwin on the near side. Second and 22 after the bad snap. Morris, 5-step drop. Facing pressure off the edge. He's going to go down. The Scots have just been sacked pretty much out of field goal range here. Huge 3rd down play upcoming.
Right here, Miles, I think you try to pick up what you can. Certainly probably unrealistic to think that you're going to get it all back. Pick up what you can, though. Give yourself an opportunity to kick the field goal. Again, you're up by 7. Make it a 2-score game. By the time that happens, you should be down at about the 6.5-minute mark, 7-minute mark.
You can pick up the 20-yard line, make it a 35-yarder, as the lights have gone out here. The lights have gone out at Highlander Stadium on the far side of the field. And now they've all gone out. Well, this is different.
Not good.
This is different.
And here come the phones.
Well, Coach Eric Cunningham.
Just when you think you've seen it all, I'm going to tell you what, Miles Dunklin, this may be the best thing to happen for the Scott defense.
How about this? Let's turn off the lights in this room so we can get a look at this place. This is interesting.
How cool is this?
This is kind of cool.
You may want to take a video of this and send it to your boys. Your boys back in Colorado.
I got to. This is different. I've seen a lot of things here at Highlander Stadium. Paige Schnorbach, what's going on?
Miles, you would think a touchdown would be what makes these kids most excited, but apparently it's the lights going out. As soon as those first set went out, they started cheering. The second set went going out, sent them over the top. I don't know how long it's going to take to get the lights back on, but I don't think these kids care.
I'll tell you, from my understanding, it's not easy to get these lights warmed back up. And I don't know if maybe surely they weren't on a timer, or this is a nasty joke by someone. But you know what? If I'm the training staff right now, I'm over there telling these guys, drink water, drink water, drink water. And maybe by the time this all shakes out, the secondary will be back in action.
Coach Cunningham, what do you think, sir? Have you seen this one before?
Never seen it. Never seen it happen.
Now, let's go back to that Super Bowl.
Yep.
49ers Ravens, the Harbaugh Bowl, when the lights went out at the Superdome, correct?
That
in
was.
New Orleans.
That is correct. Good memory there, Miles.
That's about the only one I can remember like this.
Seems like I remember something like this happening at the Rose Bowl one time, and I don't remember who was
California
playing.
could be an earthquake or something like that.
Yep.
No earthquakes here.
Look at the drill team over there for Rockwall.
I'm not even sure that we still have. I'm assuming we still have power in our truck right now. Our
in the
talented sound engineer Cookie tells me we still do have power. I want to take this moment to thank everyone working on our crew, including our producer Troy Gooder, stepping into that producer role for Fred Garner this year. Of course, Fred Garner is the man that signs all the checks, makes everything happen here at Highlander Stadium. Bill on graphics, got Tim and Cookie as the audio engineers.
A-team, baby.
Oh, yeah. This is a different one. Well, should we take a break, Coach Cunningham?
I think so.
I'm just freelancing at this point. This is different. I've never experienced this before.
No, I think we need to just take a break. It's going to be a while, I believe.
All right. Well, we will step aside, and when the lights come back on, I promise football will resume as there is 7:14 left in a very key 3rd down and 30 for the Scots when we return. You're watching Scott football. We're back here at Highlander Stadium. The lights have come back on, and it is 3rd down and 30 with 7:12 left to go in the ball game.
Pick up what you can. Try to get yourself into a
blitz
at least
comes off the
field goal
edge.
range.
Morris
Attaboy.
able to get to the corner, and Chandler will pick up. We're going to call it the 29-yard line.
What do we got, about a 45-yarder, Miles,
now,
if you want it?
Coach Gibbs told me that Wesley Winters hit a 58-yarder in the indoor last week.
You talk about complete tweener zone right here. I mean, he's definitely got the leg, Miles. There's no doubt about that. Here he comes.
They're going to try.
I think you have to. I mean, you have to.
Wow. Pip Miller is the deep snapper.
Well, great
Finn
job.
Corwin's going to hold it.
Great job by Chandler Morris of avoiding the sack. Just picking up what he can. Again, I think if he doesn't pick up that yardage,
this will be a 46-yard attempt from Wesley Winters, the junior. Good snap, good hold. He's got plenty of leg.
Pushed it.
And it's no good to the right. So Rockwall still within 1 score in this ball game here, Coach Cunningham. Now, good news here after the break. We talked about the full body cramp that Whit Winfield is experiencing down there. No Whit Winfield, but Hudson Clark has checked back in here on the near side. And that is a big pickup. As throughout this game, all 6 members of the secondary have been cramping.
Well, what's interesting is they still have Sam Sloan up at corner on Jackson.
Jackson Smith's been a terror in this game for the Scots. They go that way. It's caught by Smith. It'll be close to a first down. Smith had 9 catches for 112 yards against the Scots last year. Went over 1,300 yards as a sophomore last season for Rockwall. Holds a number of offers from Power 5 schools. Jacob Clark committed to Minnesota. And they hand it here to Henry. Up the middle, tackle made there by Colby Hopkins. Having a nice game in his first career start as a Scot.
Miles, let me go ahead and throw a call in here. How about a little turnover action? What do you think?
Get the turnover bucket involved. I like it.
Now's a good time right here.
And Rockwall's going fast. The Scots are not ready as they have 3 receivers deployed to the left. And they're going to hand it off at the middle. Patient running there by Zach Henry.
There it is. There it is.
The Scots have the ball.
Did I call it? Give me the signal. Give me the signal.
Colby Hopkins emerges with the football. The Scots have the football. High fives all around for Eric Cunningham, and the Scots have the ball. Colby Hopkins just took it away from Zach Henry.
Unbelievable. Great job by the defense right there of digging for the football. That's what you had to have. Sometimes you just got to put the call in, Miles Dunklin. Good gosh almighty.
Well, this has been a wacky night here at Highlander Stadium. The Scots have another chance to make this thing a 2-score game. The Rockwall announcers to our left not happy with the call.
Yeah, well.
As Hopkins slams it in the turnover bucket here on the near side.
You got to hold it high and tight, baby.
So Morris back to work, the junior. They set up the swing pass. There's Benner Page with blockers out in front. Page.
Stay in bounds. Stay in
bounds
to
the 25. First down, Highland Park.
Well, Benner Page is such a smart back. Very smart. A lot of running backs would have run out of bounds right there. First of all, he's not shying away from contact, but again, you want that clock to continue to run underneath 6 minutes. This is where Coach Allen's so good, Miles. Over the years, you'll see he will eat up every ounce of that play clock. Try to run it down. Again, a score right here is huge. Make this a 2-possession game.
Scots are staring right into that play clock behind the west end zone. They go with the hard count once again. It's another counter here to Benner Page, and Page will be swallowed up for a loss. We talked about the talent from Anthony Orji. Headed to Vanderbilt, that safety involved once again.
Slow developing play right there. And Harrison Hall tried to pull around. And again, love the patience by Benner. But right there, Rockwall just blew that play up in the backfield and just didn't give him anything to do.
Really solid second half here for Benner Page. 15 carries, 85 yards in the game. Second down and 12 to go. Morris surveys the field now. He wants to step up and run. Chandler trying to get toward the sideline. Wants to stay in bounds, and he's down there at the 18. Could it be a late hit? Now the official got trucked on the near side. That was number 7, Jerry Calio. No call, as it will be 3rd down and 5 upcoming.
Once again, great job of recognizing where you are on the field, the point in the game. Chandler Morris going down, keep that clock churning. You wish for the best for that official.
Calio, 5'10", 180. And you'll see here at the end of the play, after Morris is clearly down,
that very
still
easily,
jumping on top of the pile. That could have easily been flagged.
Easily could have been called a late hit right there.
Morris in the game, 8 carries, 93 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing, 304 yards on 20 completions out of 28 attempts for the junior. As Morris facing a heavy blitz, throwing over the middle, it's caught! And that's number 88, Case Savage. That's the 7th man to catch a ball in this game for the Scots, continuing to show off the depth from that wide receiver core.
Well, 2 things. First of all, great job by the offensive line, but an even better job by Benner Page of picking up the blitz off the edge. Great vision to see it coming and then to come over. He has really done a nice job in pass pro here tonight. What a throw and a catch right there, a big conversion there by the Scots.
So the first involvement in the game there for Case Savage, that was a really clutch catch as he went to a knee to be able to make that 1st down grab. 1st and goal for the Scots. Morris, it's a design quarterback run all the way, trying to get to the end zone. Chandler Morris will score, touchdown Scots.
Saw that play run a lot over the last couple of years. Just that quarterback power, or draw, if you will. Chandler Morris, when he can get the edge with his speed, tough to catch. And that's a big-time score right there after the turnover by the Scott defense.
How about the mental toughness from this Scott group, as 28 consecutive points were rattled off by Rockwall. It was 28-7 Scots. It was then 35-28 Rockwall, and now Highland Park has it in control, 49-35, or 48-35, waiting on the extra point. Winters puts it through, and the Scots lead it by 14. A little extracurriculars here on the near side as Reagan Riddle involved there with number 64, Derek Harris. Coaches, we know last year in this game, Rockwall trailed by multiple scores late in the ball game. We're able to come back, get an onside kick, as they've already done in this game, come back to beat Highland Park. This thing is not over.
And Coach Allen knows that. I'm watching him. They're getting after Reagan Riddle right now. There was some extracurricular after the play, and I know what's going on. I mean, Rockwall's John. They're playing a little bit dirty right now down in the trenches. They're trying to get Highland Park roused up, and it's the old saying, Miles, they're going to see the second one. In that case, they did right there, and they called it against Reagan, in which, you know, Coach Allen knows this thing is far from over. You remember last year, same type situation. Rockwall found a way to come back.
Really nice block by Case Savage out of the slot. And how about the block by Drew Dodge at the top of the screen? Completely erasing that cornerback as Chandler showing off the speed. We compared Chandler to John Stephen Jones earlier, saying Chandler's like a greyhound when John Stephen's like a lab. And you see the rushing ability by Chandler Morris on display tonight. That's his 4th rushing touchdown.
We talked in the pregame about his ability to utilize his legs and his speed, and he has certainly done so here tonight. It's been a huge weapon for the Scots offensively. I think Chandler's played an outstanding football game here tonight. He's thrown the ball well. He's hung in there. He's taken a couple of shots. And, of course, the big runs have been huge.
How about the first varsity game for Chandler Morris, 6 total touchdowns?
You know, Miles, go back to you were talking on how the Scots reacted after giving up 21 unanswered. You know, that's where the whole demeanor that Coach Allen possesses was huge. These guys just stayed cool, calm, collected. Next thing you know, they've now rattled off. Help me out, Miles.
Well,
27 straight, 28 straight.
I believe that's exactly it. Actually, it's 21 straight here by the Scots. It was 35-28 Rockwall.
Got a tackle right
Now
here.
49-35, Highland Park.
Good job.
Tackle there by number 90
Got a flag down
for
over
HP.
on
That's Bryce Anderson.
It's kind of in the area of a hold.
Another flag down, dropped late after the play.
Miles, that's cheating. Can't do that, brother.
Well, how about if you're Rockwall here? I mean, they had all the momentum at 35-28. And then they've just taken punch after punch here by the Scots in the fourth quarter. This fourth quarter's been all Highland Park.
It has. It has. Completely dominated the fourth quarter. Really, in my opinion, Miles, the offense has done a nice job, but the defense has stepped up here after giving up 21 unanswered. They have really done a tremendous job since then.
Considering the circumstances, as they flip it left side, that's Henry.
Great pursuit, man. Look at all the blue jerseys
Sam
flying
Sloan
around. Guys are out there.
Bonnet.
Look at them. Everybody's there. They're all hurting in the back end back there and trying to.
Bakich limping. Keaton limping. Haven't seen Whit Winfield in a while. Dealing with terrible cramps. Second down and 3 here for Rockwall. Clark stepping up, throwing deep. Great coverage out there by the outside linebacker, Andrew Bonnet, the junior. This has looked like a completely different unit here in the fourth quarter.
Earlier you were mentioning how Rodney Webb said, look, 32 is a great player, but I may be more worried about 93. Jack Jurgovan was in the backfield, and he's had pressure on the quarterback all night long.
Well, that's the great thing about this defensive line. They have so many different weapons. You can't just key in on one guy, and if you do, the other guys are going to hurt you. Third down and 3. It's a low snap for Clark, throwing over the middle. That's caught.
Good tackle.
Great tackle by Ryan Keaton. We saw him do that all last year as a junior.
Possibly a touchdown-saving tackle right there by Keaton. They can
the
drive
chains
the field.
for Rockwall. Trailing by 2 scores. Rockwall needs to score quickly. Looking for Jackson Smith once again. The junior made a man miss. He's off to the races. Jackson Smith is caught.
That's
Just
Bakich.
shy of the goal line. Brought Bakich selling out the junior. Really, he's gone the whole way today for the Scots. They said they might interchange he and Christopher Harrod, but it's been Brock Bakich's job.
Yeah, right there, just give up the outside. I know Hudson's got a difficult defend over there against Jackson.
Side handoff, Zach Henry.
Tackle.
Bonnet was all over it. Colby Hopkins flexing his muscles throughout this game.
The Scott defense has seen something, on that mesh. Those outside backers are crashing in a hurry, and really, there's been very little damage done in the run game.
Only 94 rushing yards in the game for Rockwall. Clark puts it in the belly of Henry. He's going nowhere. Great job by that defensive line. Jeremy Haynes, Jack Jurgovan. Prince Dorva in there.
Well, the key right now is tick, tick. Rockwall's only got one timeout in their back pocket, and that clock is ticking. That was a huge tackle there by Bakich.
Nothing else to save some time.
That's
here
exactly
from Rockwall.
right.
Third down and goal here from the 7 for Jacob Clark, the Minnesota commit. Looking right side, now going back across the middle.
Oh, great play.
Plays. It's knocked away by the Scots.
Is that Sam?
And that was Sam Sloan.
Wow, what a play.
The fourth corner off the bench making a huge play right there for the Scotties.
Look at this.
Student body president, Sam Sloan.
Sideline trying to get the crowd fired up. This is your game right here, Miles. Fourth down, baby.
The Scots have won 99 of their last 100 home games, trying to make it 100 out of 101, and 100 consecutive against Texas high school football teams, dating back to 1998. Fourth down and goal. This is your ball game right here. Jacob Clark looking left side, and it's caught by Jackson Smith.
Nope.
Incomplete. They say it's incomplete, and the Scots will take over on downs.
Well, that's sheer heart right there by Hudson Clark. Great defense. Looked like he came up with the football, but he must have caught it and fallen out of bounds. Great job by Hudson of using the back line back there as an extra defender.
celebration is on here at Highlander Stadium. Rockwall burned several timeouts, really in silly situations throughout this game. They only have one remaining. The Scots should be able to run out the clock here on this possession. Coach Cunningham, this was a gutsy performance by Highland Park. This is a character-building win.
There's no doubt.
Here for HP, and this is one, as they go on throughout the rest of the season, they can look back at this one and say, hey, we learned a lot there against Rockwall.
That's it. Hold on to the ball.
As it's Benner Page trying the right side once again. Gutsy performance by Benner tonight. He did not have a lot of running room through that first and second quarter. That was Avery Lewis, excuse me, his second carry of the night.
I was talking to Coach Gibbs, and he said, you know, Avery's the type of guy that has just worked at it, very similar to a lot of these guys. But here's what I love. He's going to hang on to the ball. He's going to do everything right. And if you're not careful, he's one of those guys kind of like a Stephen Deeb, where he'll kind of, be in there behind those big offensive linemen. And next thing you know, he squirts out of there, and he's gone. He does have big play ability.
5'7". About 150 goes Lewis. Try the left side. Is that play going to get out of bounds? Will. One of the things you got to love, Coach Cunningham, anytime it's a third down, no matter what the situation, the Scots are ready on the sideline with their defensive and special teams units.
Absolutely. Great coaching. Coaches are always locked in.
What a gutsy win here tonight by Highland Park.
I love the term you use. This truly has been a gutsy performance.
I think the Scots are as advertised, Coach Cunningham. We haven't talked
about, be a fun year. Yep.
About the bigger picture a whole lot, because the Scots have a new district here in 2018. We are in District 6 with the likes of the Mansfield schools as well as Lancaster. And it's not very often, Coach Cunningham, you're the number 2 ranked team in the area, or you're the number 2 ranked team in your district. And Mansfield Legacy is a team that's going to be looming as this season goes along. But it doesn't get any easier next week as Mesquite Horn comes to Highlander Stadium.
Well, Mesquite Horn took one on the chin tonight. They went on the road and played in Allen. Very, very difficult game to play, obviously, but very difficult opponent. The defending 6A champ, Allen. So back-to-back state champions, the Horn Jaguars are playing to open the season. But I'm going to tell you what, they will be talented. Don't let that score from the Allen game.
What was the score?
Last I saw was 40-0.
Well, Allen is a monstrous school. I mean, their band is a 4A school.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's a good chance Allen would defeat lots of collegiate football teams, period.
I'm going to call a college football game tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure that Allen would beat both teams that I'm calling tomorrow.
But,
the sheer size
you mentioned,
of Allen.
You know, the district kind of sets up itself that you're going to have. It's going to be kind of top-loaded. Again, you don't want to take anybody for granted, but you've got Lancaster, Timberview, Legacy, and Highland Park. And I can assure you that all 4 of those teams know that this district championship is running right through this place.
Andrew Stanzel is back to punt. 50 seconds left in the game. Gets off a good high end-over-end kick. Taken by Jackson Smith. Trying to go left to right. Now he's got a seam up the middle. There he goes. Jackson Smith trying to get to the end zone. He will be out of bounds, I believe, at about the 3-yard line. Boy, is he deadly when he's got the football in his hands.
He's a heck of a player. Yeah, heck of a player.
He's as good a skill position guy we've seen.
You know, I hate to say it, not quite over yet, my friend. I mean,
no,
they score
it
here.
is not over.
Stranger things have happened.
Defense going to have to make at least 1 or 2 tackles here if you're able to tackle somebody in bounds. And a lot of clock's going to roll off. Jacob Clark going to hand it here to Henry. And Henry.
He didn't make it. Oh, yeah, he did. push forward.
Touchdown, Rockwall. Coach, are you surprised they ran it there? You think if they get tackled in bounds, that's pretty much the game.
I am a little shocked by that, to be honest with you.
This thing is not over. Rockwall's already recovered an onside kick in this game.
Absolutely. When you got quarterback with the arm of Clark and a guy that can really run and jump in Jackson, you just never know.
Jackson Smith played an outstanding game, 12 receptions, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also has a rushing touchdown. He nearly punched one in on a punt return just there.
Did he pull that? Oh.
It's good. It just barely snuck in the right upright. Coach, I got to ask you about this Scott defense. So there's an interception return for a touchdown, and there's a punt return that put them on their own 1-yard line there. Other than that, they gave up 28 points in this game.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
And they had their back against the wall on several different occasions. In terms of field position, in terms of losing players cramping, a quality opponent on the other side. I think people are sleeping on this Scott defense.
I agree. I agree, and I've said this all night long. The coaches are very high on this defense, and I see why. Outstanding secondary, outstanding linebackers, and a dadgum good front three there. So there's really no weak spots. This is a big-time play right here.
Dan's team is on. 2 different kickers approaching the ball here for Rockwall. It's Ethan Spearman, who is a lefty, or excuse me, he's the righty. And it's Landry Poppin, the lefty. Scots need to catch the ball and get out of here with a victory. It's Poppin to boot it. And a great play there made.
Look at him.
Was that Case Savage? Number 88 it was. And how about the play made by Savage down here on that 3rd down conversion? Coach Cunningham,
that was huge, man. That
9 different receivers caught a ball for the Scots tonight.
Not shocking, just the depth they possess. And then that also shows the confidence level that Chandler Morris has across the board. And we're talking big-time throws in big-time situations, meaning 3rd down and long, late in the game. He's looking for anybody he can find, knowing these guys are going to make the catch.
Guys like Paxton Anderson, Case Savage, Grant McVeigh making big plays in this game as the Scots are going to take a knee, and they will win the ball game. Highland Park will move to 1-0 on the season and continue to protect that home field advantage. It is still an accurate statement. Highland Park has never lost to a team from Texas under the coaching of Randy Allen.
That's an incredible stat.
20 years.
And I knew that there was some concern going into this one. Two great football teams that I foresee making deep runs in the playoffs. Great game here tonight, Miles Dunklin, and one that I know the coaching staff is thrilled to be a part of because they're going to be able to take a lot from this game.
And hopefully you won't have the kind of cramping issues that you had tonight going forward as it cools off a little bit, but this was a character-building win here tonight by the Scots.
I liked your term earlier, Miles, gutsy. A gutsy performance.
Let's run over some of the final stats in this one here from Highlander Stadium. As Highland Park, the defending state champions, they've now won 16 consecutive games. 525 yards of offense by the Scots. They both passed it and rushed it well in this game, end up rushing for 187 yards on 31 attempts. That's 6 yards per carry. Chandler Morris goes 22 out of 30, 2 passing touchdowns, 338 yards. On the rushing side, Chandler Morris led the way with 4 scores on the ground, 10 carries for 105. Binner Page, 17 for 80. He was really the workhorse in this game. Avery Lewis went 3-13. Drew Dodge led the way receiving, 4 for 68, with Drew Scott right behind, 4 for 65. Finn Corwin, 3 for 62. How about the balance from these receiving stats here? Ben Smith, 5 for 49. Bennett Brown, 2 for 36. Benner Page 1 for 20. Grant McVeigh 1 for 15. Case Savage 1 for 14. And Paxton Anderson 1 for 9. For Rockwall, Jacob Clark ends up going 22 for 34 for 295, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions and 1 taken back to the house. Zach Henry, 20 carries for 51 yards. Coach, how about the Scott rushing defense in this game? 39 attempts for only 96 yards by Rockwall.
You know
that's 2.5 yards per rush.
Yep, great job by the defense of Highland Park in negating that rush. They again, they knew they were going to have their hands full in the passing game. A great job by the D-line.
And Paige Schnorbach is with Randy Allen.
Thanks, Miles. Coach, one of the more unusual moments in this game, which I'm sure is more unusual from what you've seen here, is the lights going out. Yeah. Normally that could throw a rhythm off, but your team had been suffering from a lot of cramping. Was that a good chance for them to kind of get water and revive themselves?
Well, that's what happens when you don't pay your light bills. You know, you got to pay your light bills on time. But, yeah, I was proud of the way our guys came back and focused, and there were a lot of momentum changes in the game that could have taken our guys' focus off of it, but they are so tough and they want to win so badly. I thought those 2 scores right after halftime, those were haymaker blows to us, and our guys came back and took the lead. So, you know, we've got a team that we should get better each week, but I'm so proud of the way they played tonight. We beat a really good Rockwall team.
Now, we knew coming into the season that the loss of John Stephen Jones was going to leave a hole in your offense. Tonight we got to see if Chandler Morris was going to be able to fill those shoes. What do you think of your quarterback's performance tonight?
Chandler had a great night, and he made some runs that really helped us, and then he made some very timely passes in critical situations. So for a first game starting as a varsity quarterback, he had a tremendous game.
And, Coach, you tried to retire this summer, but it didn't quite take. What keeps bringing you back to this program for 20 years now?
Well, players that play as hard as these guys do, and I really enjoy the coaches that I coach with, and there's just a special spirit at Highland Park of just knowing how to get it done, you know, finding a way to win. And, man, it's fun to coach these guys because they really leave it out there on the field.
All right, thanks so much, Coach, and congratulations on the win. Miles, Eric, another win at Highlander Stadium. Their win streak is intact here, and what a great game. They got the revenge on Rockwall from last year, and it was wonderful to watch their new quarterback, Chandler Morris. Back to y'all.
Thank you, Paige. Great job by our entire Game On Sports production crew tonight. Eric Cunningham, this was an interesting one. I haven't seen a game quite like this in a while here at Highlander Stadium.
A really fun game, a really fun atmosphere, an outstanding job.
As you see Chandler Morris there on that 70-yard run early in the game. And then there's Morris to Finn Corwin. A gutsy performance by Finn tonight. Went out there and even played some corner when they needed him to. Drew Dodge, some really outstanding grabs by this squad tonight. That's Chandler Morris, one of his 4 rushing touchdowns.
Miles, this lot they're going to be able to build from this football game. A lot they can take, a lot they can improve upon. But as Coach Allen said, it's a great win against a really, really high-quality Rockwall team.
Yeah, really good Rockwall team, and a great win here for the Scots tonight. So for everyone that made this production possible, our executive producer, Fred Garner, for Paige Schnorbach on the sideline, for Coach Eric Cunningham, I'm Miles Dunklin. So long, here from Highlander Stadium.
I'm a link in the chain. I am a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
I'm 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 a link in the chain. I'm a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
I'm a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
I'm a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain. When you play one of us, you play all of us.
And it's staying right where it belongs.
Go!